Bartram are available to handle all of your heating, cooling, and ventilation needs. Anne and Bartram strive to be the best, so call them today at 317-889-9574. They even have 24/7 emergency service. Call them today, Anne and Bartram, 317-889-9574.
Harding Porman is a full-service printing and brand communications company. From creative services and strategy to print, signage, digital output, warehousing and fulfillment, mailing, e-commerce storefronts, and even mobile solutions. They are dedicating to helping their clients get the most out of their brand communication efforts with the quality they can see and results they can be sure of. Get the most out of your brand communications. Certified to be the best, Harding Porman.
A proud supporter of Roncalli High School, Indy Teledata provides IT solutions for businesses and organizations in central Indiana. For over 10 years, Steve Battiato and his team of professionals have provided comprehensive computing support, business telephone solutions, network infrastructure, and productivity suite integration. For a free evaluation of your technology needs, give Steve and his team a call at 317-231-5547 or visit us at indyteledata.com.
Marian University wants to know, what are you made of? At Marian University, our students are made of character and faith. Our students are service-minded and want to make a difference in the world. Our students possess the skills and intellect required of leaders. Come to Marian University, Indy's premier Catholic university, and let us help you find out what you're made of. You can apply for free today at marian.edu.
Hi folks, it's Ben Stallings with Beck Service Center. Automotive breakdowns and routine maintenance never come at a good time. Let us help take the stress out of your automotive repairs. With 10 mechanics and 32 bays, we can get you back up and running with minimal downtime. Quality parts, experienced mechanics, locally owned and operated since 1977. Located at the southeast corner of Madison and Edgewood, we are pretty darn good at fixing cars. Let's go Royals.
At Peterman Brothers, we know how critical AC can be to your comfort. And we want to make sure you're comfortable in every season. That's why right now when you install a qualifying AC system with Peterman Brothers, we'll include the furnace for free. That's right, Indiana. The furnace is free. And if you schedule today, we'll install your new system tomorrow, guaranteed. Visit PetermanHVAC.com to schedule online in seconds.
Roncalli Royals pregame show. Your Royals 3-2 on the season, getting set back home from the confines of Roncalli Stadium and Bob Tully Field as they welcome in parochial rivals, the Brebeuf Jesuit Braves. Joining us as he does each and every game day, Royals head coach Eric Quintana. Coach, it'll be another matchup inside of top 15, top 20 schools as your 8th-ranked Royals get set to host the Braves. We'll get into that matchup in just a second, but first, I want you to take me through what was the most impressive performance, I would argue, to date for this program, a 35-21 near dominance against the Golden Eagles. What did the film review to you about your group on Monday? From everybody, it's super quiet.
Yeah, it was good. You know, when we watched the film over the weekend, we found that we're just what we talk about each week, where we're improving in spots that need to be improved upon. So offensively, that's our quarterback position and our offensive line. So we saw a good game, good execution, starting to refine those fine skills that you work on throughout the season in terms of technique. And in terms of just football IQ. So extremely proud of our group, extremely proud of our guys of setting that standard and accomplishing that standard of just getting better each week at what we do. So again, we saw that. And then defensively, you know, we had still not happy about it a week later, but we had 2 goofs, 2 missed assignments, which didn't cost us this week, but most certainly could cost us here in the next foreseeable weeks of not covering a receiver, just having a mental mistake, and then going into the half. That just can never, ever happen.
Yeah.
So,
Coach, I don't want to cut across you, but I want to ask you about that. And I know that sometimes our back and forths, our conversations sometimes, this is from nobody, like no one has critiqued me on this, by the way, but sometimes it's like, oh, the post-game conversation, how is it this week? 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And I don't want to go too long with this because overall it was a positive performance for the Royals, but specifically end of the half, as you looked back at film, the breakdown that occurred, would a timeout have solved that? Or was it one of those where situationally the group needed to be better on the communication, or was it a combination of all things?
Yeah, definitely a combination of the two. So I'm a huge ownership guy. So I will take ownership in calling a timeout, especially with our, I don't want to say inexperienced group, because that's probably where the most experience is on our team, is our defensive backfield and our linebackers. But yeah, as the leader of the team, a timeout probably should have been called. But we ran our base coverage, and something that we've installed since we started in May. So it's just one of those things where we got kind of under pressure, and one guy heard this and one guy heard that, and that's all it takes to give up a momentum swing like that. So again, it happened. We fixed it. We spent more time on it this week in practice. So looking at it from the good side is that we were able to make sure our guys, because at the end of the day, our guys do what we teach them to do. They don't just do random things. They just don't make blown assignments. So that's on us as coaches, and especially me and our defensive coordinator and our DB coach, which is the same. So that's on us, and we took ownership. We fixed it. We threw a lot more scenario type stuff like that this week in practice, and again, hopefully that won't ever cost us in the long term.
The one in the second half, how much of that was that they're running a wing T formation they're passing out of? How much of that was just a coverage breakdown, and how much of that is just, like you mentioned, little mistakes that didn't cost you last week, but that just need to be cleaned up?
Yeah, I'm going to take it on me because I'm the leader of the program and our defensive staff, but we subbed a corner out that play, and when we subbed the other guy in, not to fault to anything that he did, he was just in position to read the signal, and we didn't see it. And again, just a MA, what I call MAs, which Roncalli beating Roncalli. So those things just cannot happen, especially with the type of kids we have and the experienced coaches that we have. Those things can't happen. So just a total missed assignment. Nothing that they did. We knew that they were going to run that old school run and shoot offense when they were pinned against the wall. And we practiced for it all week, and we had certain checks to whenever we saw that. And our guys rehearsed it a million times. I think it was just one of those things of subbing guys in and out at the wrong time, to be honest.
Coach, a lot of positives, though, from this matchup. You talk about it just from a look at the box score at halftime and then post game, pretty much in every statistical category. It was a Roncalli victory, and you limited an offense that, again, maybe Roncalli doesn't say this publicly, and I will say that they took good care of us, and I got good reports as well from the Royals faithful. It was a good atmosphere and a lovely campus. But all that said, they feel like it's one of their better, if not the best program that they've had come through there from a football standpoint. And you guys were able to handle them in what felt like all three phases for the majority of the night. How do you build on that and kind of encapsulate that for the larger conversation you've had the last couple of weeks, which is dividing the season into thirds, hoping you get better each third? Well, we're 2 games through now, the second third of the season, and a lot of positive for this group. How do you continue to build on that?
Yeah, 100%. So I want to go back to what you said. Yeah, and our standard is so high with our guys and our coaching staff that when you see two MAs like that, it just those things, and our kids feel the same way. So it's not like, oh, coach is being kind of a downer and all that stuff, even though we did dominate them. Before those last 2 plays going to the half, I think they had maybe 60 yards of total offense before those 2 plays. So don't quote me on those exactly, but we dominated the full football game in all phases. We just, when we look at our last half of our season and we know we got to beat a great East Central football team to win a state title. We got to beat Brebeuf twice, and we got to beat a New Pal or a Greenfield Central. We just hold ourselves to, we're going to do everything right. We're going to fight. We're going to be conditioned. And if you beat us on our best night, then I can tip my hat and we can I can go to sleep at night. But the ones that kick your butt is when you have 2 blown coverages, or you have a missed block, or you miss this or you miss that. Those are the tough ones to swallow. So that's what we try to do as a staff and as our players to make sure that we're perfect on that end. But again, our guys played a heck of a football game. We ran the ball extremely well. We were efficient in the pass game, and then defensively, aside from those 2 MAs, we had a great game. I think we had 5 or 6, 7 sacks in the game. We dominated the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. So extremely proud of our football team, and I cannot wait to compete tonight.
Let's look at tonight's opponent. They're both Jesuit Braves, Matt Geski's group, 2-2 on the season. A 2-week gap in between games for them, unless I'm going off of John Harrell, so unless it's a out-of-state opponent that wasn't listed.
No, you're right.
Okay, so 2-week gap there. Since their loss to Guerin Catholic, they lost 34-29 to them at home a couple of weeks ago, back on the 8th. 2 wins sandwiched between 2 losses for their campaign. How will they test the Royals tonight?
Yeah, for sure. You said it right on the dot. Coach Geski's a great offensive football mind. Their D coordinator, Coach Weinstein, they do a good job. They're coached well. They're a strong tradition of great football. We've had some knockout, drag-out fights the last 2 years, especially that sectional championship last year. And so they're going to come to win. They're hungry for a win. Like you said, they had a week off last week, so I'm sure they've prepared and have their game plan in for now 10 practices or whatever it is. And they're going to come to win. They throw the football extremely well. They got 2 perimeter athletes on the offensive side of the ball that can score on anybody and have scored on everybody. And then defensively, they have a multiple defense where they'll go a 3-3 stack and an even under defense that they'll throw different things at you. And with a young and inexperienced line that we've kind of graduated from, I think we're past that point now where we're a seasoned group up front. But again, seeing multiple fronts, they'll get after us. And again, if we do what we do and we play hard and we do our job, it's going to be a great night for Roncalli. But if we fall in some sort of realm of happiness of where we are, it could be a long night.
Roncalli wins tonight if they win the battle in the trenches?
100%. But yes, that will be 100% too. But I would love to see us still getting after it on special teams. I want to see us. This is just a goal of mine, but I want to see a special team score this week for sure. We've been great, extremely great on punt block. I think we have 3 punt blocks on the year. I'd love to take one of those home this week. So, but yes, control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, and let's get after them.
Hey, nothing like a good scoop and score. I love a good scoop and score as much as the next guy, Coach.
Love it.
Best of luck tonight. Thank you for the time as always.
Thanks, Jimmy. I appreciate it.
That's Royals head coach Eric Quintana. We'll be back with Dan's keys to the game after this. You're listening to Roncalli Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network.
Hi folks, it's Ben Stallings with Beck Service Center. Automotive breakdowns and routine maintenance never come at a good time. Let us help take the stress out of your automotive repairs. With 10 mechanics and 32 bays, we can get you back up and running with minimal downtime. Quality parts, experienced mechanics, locally owned and operated since 1977. Located at the southeast corner of Madison and Edgewood, we are pretty darn good at fixing cars. Let's go Royals.
Welcome back to Roncalli Stadium. Bob Tully Field, the site of tonight's top 15 in Class 4A matchup between your 8th-ranked Royals of Roncalli and the 12th-ranked Braves of Brebeuf. As we await the designation for the winners of tonight's coin toss, let's send it over to Dan for Dan's keys to the game.
Thanks, Jimmy. It's good to be back in the booth with you.
Great
Shout
to have you
out
back.
to Principal Bonich for filling in for me last week. He did a fantastic
He did
job.
okay. He did okay.
Yeah, don't give him too much credit. Listen, this is going to be an exciting one tonight. I mentioned it pregame, but Roncalli's got a few familiar faces that are out. So, it's that time of the year, week 6, middle of the season. You tend to start to get, nicked up and some bumps and bruises. So it's really up to your depth to be able to come in and execute. So what I'm looking for tonight offensively, RTDB, run the dang ball, right? So last week you had 363 yards versus Guerin at a season high. And, you look at Chittard earlier in the year against Brebeuf. They ran for 350 plus. So it's a defense that gives up rushing yards, and I think Roncalli should be able to take advantage of that. The other piece is control the time of possession. Brebeuf, if you look at their scores this year and if you watch their film, they like to get in shootouts, high-scoring games. So what I'd like to see Roncalli do is slow the game down a bit, control the possession, maybe have 5 or 6 extra minutes of possession towards the end of the game versus Brebeuf. And then defensively, take away the deep ball. Brebeuf is green, so we got to be looking out for that as well.
Those are Dan's keys to the game. Game time temperature, 79 degrees, partly cloudy skies on the south side of Indianapolis. Fall is in the air with a little bit of summer flair from a temperature standpoint. Royals won the toss. They will defer to the second half, so Levi Whistler set to boot this away as C.J. Harris and Jack Wells stand deep to return for the Braves. In fact, make that Leroy Lewis back deep to receive alongside Jack Wells. It's a end-over-ender that'll make the end zone, and it's a touchback, as is tradition with Levi Whistler. So we'll get a look for the first time at this Brebeuf offense. We mentioned they've lost a lot from a year ago, but not the most important position in the game. That's quarterback with Maverick Geske. 81 for 135. Over 1,000 yards already, just 4 games played to his name. 2 weeks off for the Braves in between their last matchup and tonight. 5 interceptions on the season for Geske. A bunch formation, 4 wide receivers stacked to the left, 1 to the right as Geske operates in the gun, 1st and 10 from the 20. Opening play of this ball game. Royals with 3 down linemen. Geske takes the snap. Quick screen is caught one-handed by Taylor Clark for a first down.
And that's a look they've shown all year, Jimmy, that empty look with quads to the left. And they'll go either way. They decided they had the numbers to the slant, the one receiver side there, and took it.
Geske looks to the sidelines. This time the Royals will wait and see. They'll go with 3 down linemen once again. 3 wide receivers to the left, 2 to the right. The 2 are stacked to the right. 1st and 10 from the 32. Jet sweep motion. Left side, they toss it that way to the 30, and it's met well with resistance by the Royals. Dylan Henry, the first one there. It'll be a loss of about 3, 2nd down.
Fantastic job by Dylan Henry. He's done that fantastically all year, getting off that first block and making the tackle. And Brebeuf is a team that, probably the first team we've seen this year that doesn't want to run the ball first. They want to throw it. So to get them behind the chains here and be able to pin your ears back is big.
It'll be 2nd and 12 from the Brebeuf 30. Royals jumped into the neutral zone, and it'll be a penalty against Roncalli.
Yeah, we talked about, a few weeks ago, the penalties hurting the Royals, and there's one there. It doesn't seem like a big deal. It's 5 yards. It's still 2nd and long, but it gets Brebeuf back on schedule here.
3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left for the Braves on this 2nd and 7 after the encroachment. Screen pass, right side, caught once again, this time by Wells. He'll pick up 3, perhaps 4, and set up 3rd and short.
And a great job again there by Dylan Henry on the edge. He didn't make the tackle that time, but he held his blocker there and forced the receiver to cut back inside to where the Royals were rallying.
Geske looks to the sideline. First time he's had a tailback with him. It'll be Javon Brooks, the senior, directly behind him. 3 wide receivers to the left side, 1 to the right. Royals show a bit of pressure. Now back it off. 3rd and 3 from their own 39. Quick snap, throw at the sticks, and its extra effort is going to have the first down for Dylan Wells. Ball might have came out late. Let's see, and they'll call him down first.
Yeah, a late punch came in there to knock it loose, but I believe that's the correct call. Now, was it a first down? It's going to be close. They're going to give it to him here.
Thought he was right at the sticks with the extra effort dive forward. The officials feel the same way. And another first down on this drive for the Braves. First and 10, ball on the 30, make it the 42-yard line of Brebeuf. 3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Once again, it's Brooks, who he sends out in motion. Fakes the screen his way. He's there for the check down. Instead of throwing out right side of the sideline, it's caught. Reception made, Leroy Lewis. That'll move the chains again. A gain of about 15. First down, Braves.
I mean, that's an impressive throw, Jimmy. There's probably only 5 or 6 quarterbacks in the state of Indiana that can make that deep corner route throw. You know, there's a lot of guys that can throw it, but not with the velocity that Geske has to be able to get it there before the defender can break it up.
First and 10 from the Roncalli 43 on this opening drive. The Braves already crossing midfield. 3 wide receivers to the right side, 1 to the left. Geske, 2-step drop, looks right side the whole way, has his man. It's caught by Taylor Clark, who will walk into the end zone. 43-yard touchdown strike. Geske to Clark. 6-0 Braves with an impressive opening drive touchdown.
And as I mentioned, Jimmy, the Braves have no interest in running the football right now with Maverick Geske at quarterback and the athletes they have at wide receiver. They executed perfectly on that opening drive, got exactly the looks they wanted, and, you know, finally hit the big play. Roncalli's go-to for their defense all year has been limit the big play. Weren't able to do so there, and they find themselves behind early.
Quinn Warren on for the point after try. Low snap, good hold. Kick is good. An opening drive score for the Braves with 9:24 to play in this first quarter. Braves 7, Royals with a chance to respond. We come back on the Roncalli Media Network.
Providing comfort for families in their time of need is the main concern of the staff at Lauk-Veldoff Funeral Home. We are a small family-owned firm and take great pride in the personal service we offer and the family-like atmosphere at our facility. At Lauk-Veldoff, we only serve one family at a time, providing compassionate care and affordable options, truly part of your community. Lauk-Veldoff Funeral and Cremation Services. Call 317-636-6655.
9:24 to go in this first quarter. Royals will look for a response drive after the Braves on their opening possession go 6 plays, 80 yards in 2.5 and change, capped off by a 43-yard touchdown pass from Geske to Clark to make it 7-0 with Dan Lauk. I am Jimmy Cook. That was with some surgical precision on that drive.
Hey, you said the word I was about to say, surgical. I mean, Maverick Geske looked... That spiral is tight. He knew exactly where he wanted to go with the ball every single time, and the one time he didn't, he found his second read and threw a dart. So we're going to have our hands full tonight with this Brebeuf offense. The good news is they give up some points, so hopefully our offense can put something together here.
Dominic Morelli back to receive along with Zach Dozier. It's an end-over-ender that Morelli's going to go back into the end zone to get, and it will be a touchback. Well, that's how the Braves had to start their drive, which is a touchback. Royals will have to do the same. In walks Colin Ash without some key weapons for this Roncalli offense. 49 for 88, 470 yards, 3 touchdowns to 2 picks, a QB rating about 107. But he will be without his star running back, Ben Brandenburg, though there is a by-committee approach at times for the Royals in their backfield. It'll be Zach Dozier and Rogan Benich doing most of the heavy lifting. Tonight, first series, it's Zach Dozier. First and 10 from the 20 for the Royals. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Ash fires over the middle. It's caught for a first down. Connor Kessler gets the grab and moves the chains for the Royals.
Good catch there by Kessler. Good read by Ash. He wanted to look at the swing first. It wasn't there. He found Kessler over the middle.
1 wide receiver to the right, 2 to the left. Ash in the gun, first and 10 from the Roncalli 35. Claps his hand once, now looks to the sideline. Dozier coming in 35 for 187 and 3 scores. On this first and 10, they'll give to Dozier, and he's brought from behind. No gain on the play. Perhaps a gain of 1 depending on the spot. But it was a run to the left side, and the Braves had it sniffed out.
Yeah, and just like their offense, Jimmy, Brebeuf is very athletic on defense, so you're really going to have to be physical with them. they'll get you in some negative plays, and you got to be okay with that. You just got to respond.
2 wide receivers to the right side, 1 to the left. Make that 2 to the left and 1 to the right, I beg your pardon. As Ash looks to the sideline. 8.5 to play in this opening quarter. Opening drive for the Royals. They trail 7-0. 2nd and 9 from their own 36. Ash, handoff up the middle. Dozier, full head of steam, makes a man miss, and he has the first down all the way out to the 48-yard line. A gain of 12, and Roncalli inching towards midfield.
Nicely designed there, a power play. You know, Charlie Elsner is out this game, and I was interested to see he's such an integral part of the offense, especially in the running game. Looks like the Royals are going to go with Christian Sweezy filling that role, who's typically a wideout, but he did a nice job on the kick out there.
2 wide receivers to the left and 2 to the right. Ash with a man in the backfield on 1st and 10 for the 49. Quick pass is caught by Sweezy, and he'll be near the first down marker. A pickup of 8. 2nd down.
Nice little rhythm throw there from Colin Ash. I just mentioned Christian Sweezy. That time they had him in the slot instead of at the wing position. DBs were playing off, so Colin, again, as a sophomore, he's really impressive just taking what the defense gives him.
Trips to the left for the Royals. It's Kessler, Sweezy, and Shutley. 1 wide receiver to the right, it's Morelli. On 2nd and 1 from the Brebeuf 42 as the Royals cross midfield on this opening drive. 1 man in the backfield next to Ash. Fakes a handoff, screen to Shutley. He stumbles, falls forward, and has enough for the first down. Rudy Shutley caught that about 2 to 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage, as is designed with that screen, but lost his footing, able to stumble forward, though, and get that yard for the first down.
And you can see, I'm guessing that was a double call there, where depending on the look you get from the defense, you're either going to run it or flick it out there to the bunch trips. So numbers were really heavy in the box. Colin makes the right decision, flips it out to Shutley for a first down.
1st and 10 from the Brebeuf 40. 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Ash fakes a handoff, fires a pass, and the referee initially didn't see it. Thank goodness for the sideline official. The back judge got caught up between a Brebeuf defender and did not see an obvious tug of the shoulder pad for Morelli on that quick slant. It'll be pass interference on the Braves.
You're exactly right. And honestly, it's probably a smart penalty from the Braves. They're not playing with the free safety right now. They typically play some sky, cover 3, cover 4 coverage. Right now, they're really rolling everybody down into the box to try to slow down that Roncalli running game. Had the corner not grabbed Morelli's shoulder, he would have had a step on him and potentially 6 there.
So it'll be a 10-yard penalty and move the chains for Roncalli. It'll be 1st and 10 from the Braves 30. Royals 10 yards outside the red zone. 2 wide receivers to the right side, 1 to the left. Dozier, the tailback, right next to Ash. Left hash he operates, takes the snap, give us to Dozier. Misdirection, left side, he'll pick up about 3.
Brebeuf plays typically an even front. Right now they're in their stack look, which means they're playing with 3 defensive linemen and then 3 linebackers immediately behind the defensive linemen right on their heels. So it's really tough as an offensive line to decipher that and figure out what your assignments are, but so far so good for the Royals.
Bunch formation to the right side of the line for the Royals and 1 wide receiver to the left. Very shallow is that trip to the right on this 2nd and 7 from the 27 of Brebeuf. Takes the snap, handoff, Benich, full head of steam, and he'll pick up a couple. Set up 3rd and medium.
It's a good gain, and again, Brebeuf playing with no safeties and a lot of guys rolled down inside the tackle box. So 2 or 3 yards, you'll take that, and it sets up a 3rd and 4 here, which is more than manageable for the Royals.
Morelli lines up wide to the left side. Shutley and Kessler to the right. Also out there is Sweezy, kind of as a tight end on the right side of the line, or as an extra blocker perhaps for Benich. On this 3rd and 4, handoff Benich. He'll follow Sweezy, cut upfield. He's leveled and spins forward, but his extra effort is going to make him short by about 2 yards. It'll be 4th and 2 Royals from their own 22 decision time for Coach Quintana.
Yeah, and part of the field here where you trust the leg of your kicker to be able to hit this, but being down 7-0 already, the vibe kind of changes in the stadium. So I think Coach Quintana has shown all year he trusts his offense to pick up first downs like this on 4th down. So let's see the Royals get creative here and see if we can extend the drive.
Morelli to the left, Shutley to the right. In the right slot is Kessler on this 4th and 2 from the 22. The tailback is Dozier. Ash in the gun. Dozier to his right side. Claps once. High snap. Handoff. No, keep it himself will Ash. Try to adjust outside, and he's stopped He stutter stepped to bounce outside, did Ash. The Braves read it the whole way. Roncalli did that a couple times a week ago against Garin Catholic, so you credit it to good film by the Braves. And not only is it good film, it's good enough for turnover on downs, a major momentum shift towards Brebeuf.
Yeah, it was the correct pull, and honestly, Jimmy, I thought he was going to walk for the first down. The one thing you can't do against an opponent like this that just frankly has better athletes is think you can bounce it outside and extend a play. Really would have liked to see Colin just put his foot in the ground and try to pick up that extra yard for the first down. But it is what it is. Now the defense is back out there. Again, your leaders are hurt right now, some of them. So got to respond here. If you let Brebeuf march down the field the way they did in that first drive, we'll be in trouble.
So now the Roncalli defense, a large portion of his backbone needing a stop. 1st and 10 from the 22 for the Braves. 5 wide. Pressure coming. Geske fires to his receiver in the flat. It was Dylan Wells off his fingertips. And it's incomplete for 2nd and 10.
Good coverage there by Dylan Henry. He was right in the hip pocket, and good pressure by Sam New. I talked about it pregame, but we're going to have to get pressure from our front 3 or 4. You don't want to commit 5 or 6 on a blitz because Geske will read that quickly and pick you apart with the athletes he's got on the perimeter.
3 wide receivers to the right side, 2 to the left for the Braves. Make it 1 to the left as they shift that down for an extra blocker. 2nd and 10 from the 22. Geske in the gun. Takes the snap. 3-step drop. Pressure coming. He's going to air it out there with contact, and the pass falls incomplete. Losing the football was Taylor Clark. A number of Royals were there giving chase to force the throw downfield.
Yeah, another good stand there by the Roncalli defense to get pressure on Geske, and he's not able to. That first drive, he was really just comfortable and able to fire everything off quickly. It looks like the Royals are getting a little more aggressive in their coverage, so that first quick look isn't there. And they're getting pressure from their front 7, which is a big deal. So big third and 10 here.
Red, white, and blue look from the student section here for the Royals on homecoming night. Cheering the Royals on to a big stop here. 3rd and 10. 3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Geske, 3-step drop, fires over the middle, has a man, it's caught, and a level hit is made. A clean one at that by the Royals. Regrettably, though, the catch is still made by Leroy Lewis. He paid the price, but the price was a first down.
Yeah, he got hit kind of low and high at the same time. Sam Rader came in there with a clean hit with his shoulder, but hopefully he just got the wind knocked out of him because it was a violent hit. So hopefully he's okay.
You hope he's all right, but for the Braves, with their next man up mentality, they will be very thankful for Lewis to have hung on to that football and move those chains to the Braves. Their drive continues. Under 5 minutes to play first quarter. They lead 7-0. Trying to capitalize after the Roncalli turnover on down. 3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left for Geske. His tailback is Brooks. First handoff to Brooks. He'll scamper out for the first down, but a flag will fly in the area of holding, and that's going to come back.
Yeah, it was a nice cut, but you could tell something was up there in the middle because our linebackers were really on top of each other there. And I know they're not coached that way. Coach Belch, the linebackers coach, has been around for a long time. Our Roncalli defense is always going to be well coached. So anytime you see a bust like that, there's generally either something up or somebody didn't get the call. But either way, bringing up 1st and 20 now for the Braves. This is a much better situation for Roncalli. Now, what you got to look out for here is that tunnel screen I mentioned in pregame. They tend to go to it in situations like this where they're backed up.
1st and 20 from the 25 for Brebeuf. Of their own 25. 3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Geske, 3-step drop, rolls right. He'll throw that way. Has a man with a step. Oh, it's dropped. Dylan Wells was there down the right sideline and might have high-stepped his way to the house, but it bounces off his fingertips, and it's 2nd and 20.
He throws a really good ball, Jimmy. I've been watching high school football for a long time. This kid can throw it, and, that one was right on the money down the Roncalli sideline, hit the receiver right in the hands, but he wasn't able to come up with it. That time he was able to sit in the pocket a little more comfortably than he has previously on this drive, so need to continue to get in his face a little bit. Again, you only want to do it with 4, but got to get him uncomfortable in the pocket.
3 wide receivers out to the right side, 1 to the left side. Geske on 2nd and 20, fires a quick pass near the initial line of scrimmage, and he has a man. It's caught. Clark spins out of 1 tackle, able to get to the sidelines and make it a big gainer of nearly 17 yards. Make it 19 yards. No, it's going to be the full 20. This was a quick cliffhanger-like walk. Frequent our callback Price is Right reference here. That's what the officials started doing. Thought he was going to be short, but instead, what could have been just a gain of 5 or 10 turns into a gain of 20 to move the chains.
Yeah, and again, Brebeuf has no interest in running the football right now. With the rhythm Geske has right now, he's already over 100 yards passing. Just expect more of the same. We just got to get a little more aggressive and put some pressure on him. And get aggressive in the defensive backfield.
Well, I have a point to go to that in a second on this 1st and 10 for the 45. Geske takes a hit, airs it out, has a man deep downfield. It's caught. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown Braves. Edwin Watson streaking down the sideline. 13-0 Brebeuf.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we got our eyes caught in the backfield there a little bit. This is not a team. Honestly, Jimmy, I don't think we've seen the athleticism. You can look back at Jayon Harvey at Franklin Central, which we did a really good job on him. But I think the Royals are a little shocked right now at the athleticism of the Braves and the ability of this quarterback to just put the ball anywhere on the field where he wants it. And, you know, our corner got his head turned a little too early. When you're facing this athleticism, you have to stay in phase until the ball's there.
Warren on for the point after try. Good snap. Oh, it's bobbled, and it's going to turn into a 2-point try effectively, and the Braves are going to get it. They're going to throw crossbody, left side, had a man wide open, and it's a successful 2-point try for the Braves. Some salt in the wound of a stunned crowd here on homecoming. 15-0 Brebeuf with 3:54 to play in the first quarter. We'll take a quick break and be back after this on the Roncalli Media Network.
Proud supporter of Roncalli High School, Indy Teledata provides IT solutions for businesses and organizations in central Indiana. For over 10 years, Steve Battiato and his team of professionals have provided comprehensive computing support, business telephone solutions, network infrastructure, and productivity suite integration. For a free evaluation of your technology needs, give Steve and his team a call at 317-231-5547 or visit us at indyteledata.com.
Welcome back to Bob Tully Field. A stunned crowd here at Roncalli on homecoming. With Dan Lauk, I'm Jimmy Cook. It's just the first quarter, and it's already 15-0 Brebeuf. That last one, 91 seconds to get down the field in 6 plays, 78 yards, capped off by a 55-yard bomb from Geske to Edwin Watson. Dan, you're the expert play caller of the two of us. Was that an intentional 2-point try, or was it a botched snap that just led to a broken play?
Yeah, the kicker almost ran in.
That's what I thought.
Now, here's the nice thing. When you've got your starting quarterback as the holder, things like that can happen.
That'll work out okay.
Oh, man. Unlucky break there for the Royals. That was a busted play, but to have a weapon there that can just throw it across the field for the 2-point conversion is big.
The Royals looking for a response, but it's not going to come here as the kickoff is into the end zone for a touchback. What'd you see on that first drive? What's the good, what's the bad that Roncalli can try to improve? Because this is suddenly a must-have points drive for the Royals.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's really early still 4 minutes left in the first quarter, so you don't want to panic. I think Roncalli got what they wanted offensively in that first drive. They just weren't able to pick up that 4th and 2 to keep the drive going. So don't need to do much different here offensively. What I'll say is Zach Dozier, with them, it looks like they're going to play with the safety now, but when they don't have a safety in there, he's either going to get stuffed for nothing or he's going to bust one for 80.
2 wide receivers to the right, 2 to the left on this 1st and 10 from Roncalli's own 20. Handoff Dozier up the middle, makes a man miss to the 35 and is thrown down at the 40. It's a 15-yard run for Zach Dozier.
And you could see there, that was another read option play. So Colin Ash, I've talked about it before, does a really good job staring down that defensive end, freezing him in his tracks. And I know he didn't pick up the first down on the previous drive, but it just showed Brebeuf that he has the capability of pulling it. That defensive end gets his feet stuck in the mud. Dozier's able to cut back weak and then pick up a nice gain there.
2 wide receivers out to the right, 2 to the left for Ash in the gun on 1st and 10 from his own 34. Braves lead at 15-0, 3:35 to play first quarter. Snap, handoff, Dozier bounces outside to the 40, and he's thrown out of bounds at about the 42. It'll be near the first down marker. Let's see if they move those chains. They will not. We'll call it 2nd and about 2.
And obviously the Royals are going to miss Ben Brandenburg in this game. He's, very explosive. If there's anybody on the Roncalli roster that can run with these athletes of Brebeuf, it's Ben. I think Zach Dozier can also do it too, though. So look to get him in open space here tonight.
2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left on 2nd and 2 from the 42. Handoff, Dozier, he tripped and fell. Tripped underneath either an offensive lineman or just turf monster got him. Either way, 3rd and 2.
Yeah, and again, I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Christian Sweezy playing that H-back role that we typically see Charlie Elsner play was coming around on what you call the load blocker. So it was a power run. You got a pulling guard who's going to be the kick-out player. The H-back is the load. His guy was there to block. He hesitated just a little bit. He needs to be a little bit more aggressive there.
2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left on 3rd and 2. Handoff. This one to Bennett. He'll bounce outside and have the first down. Lowered the shoulder for some extra momentum. He'll pick up about 4, and it'll move those chains with 2:53 to play first quarter. 15-0 Braves.
And good decision there by Rogan. I'm thinking back to the Chittard game. There was a few times that he tried to bounce it outside a little bit. Mentioned it earlier. You can't do that against the athletes of Brebeuf. So he stuck his foot in the ground, picked up the first down.
Ash in the gun sends 2 wide receivers to his right, 1 to his left. 1st and 10 from the Roncalli 46-yard line. Ash looks to the sideline. Bennett, the tailback, fakes to his right hip, now goes to his left. Claps once. Ash looking left the whole way. Fires to Sweezy, incomplete. Overthrew him. It was at his knees and about 7 yards ahead of him. And it'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, ball probably needed to come out just a smidge earlier there. Sweezy heard the footsteps of the safety, and that ball comes out a little bit earlier. You give your receiver more confidence to go up there with 2 hands and make that catch and not worry about the hit. But it was a good read. Sweezy was open, just got to put it on the money.
2nd and 10 for the Roncalli 46-yard line. A wide receiver to the right, none to the left. Ash once again in the gun. Takes the snap. Fakes the screen, fires right near the sticks. It's going to be caught by Kessler at the 35-30, 25, and finally brought down at the 22. Connor Kessler caught that right near the sticks and then was off to the races just outside the red zone. Roncalli's been here before. Need to capitalize, but all the same, a tip of the cap to Connor Kessler.
Yeah, Connor Kessler coming out hot tonight, and good read again by Colin Ash on that spot route right in the middle of the formation. Linebackers cleared out. It was wide open.
1st and 10 for the 21. 3 wide receivers to the left side and 1 to the right for Ash with Zach Dozier, the tailback. Ash looking to the sidelines for instructions. Now looks back with 8 on the play clock. Under 2 minutes to play first quarter. 15-0 Braves, but the Royals are driving. They send Dozier, make that Sweezy in motion. High snap, handoff to Dozier. He'll scamper his way through the middle of the pile for a gain of 2.
So this is the part of the field, Jimmy, we've talked about it all year. Inside the 20, once you get in the red zone, can you punch it in? Royals have had games where they've done it every time. They've had games where they've really struggled to punch it in. If they're going to come back in this, they're going to have to execute down here in the red zone.
Ash once again looks to the sidelines. Wide receivers bunch to the left side, shallow bunch, and 1 to the right is Morelli. Dozier the tailback. Ash, 2-step drop, looks left, fires, it's caught. Reception is made by Pendergast. He went east and west, though, instead of north and south based on the route concept. So he's only able to gain 2, and it'll set up 3rd and about 7.
Yeah, and look to see more of JJ tonight, especially with Charlie Elsner out. He can fill that role as a big physical H-back.
They'll call it 3rd and 6 for the Royals on the Brebeuf 17-yard line. Likely the last play of this first quarter. Ash looks to the sideline, has 2 wide receivers to the right side and 1 to the left. Morelli's to the left, Sweezy's the slot. Shutley is over there on the right side. Dozier tailback. Ash, handoff. Dozier, stutter step, lowers the shoulder, and he'll be about 2 yards short. 20 seconds left in the quarter, so the Royals can think about this if they would like. Either way, I don't expect a decision to be made until the end of this first quarter. Ash looks to the sideline, and they're not going to run a play. The Braves open things up on homecoming on the road with a couple heavyweight blows. The Royals, though, staggered, trying to get up off the mat at the end of 1. Braves 15, Royals nothing. 4th and 3 when we return on the Roncalli Media Network.
Summer blew by and your child hasn't been to his or her back-to-school eye exam. Let the experts take a look and schedule an appointment today with Vision Quest Eye Care. Vision Quest has 2 locations to serve you and your family in Greenwood and Geist. Visit VisionQuestEyeCare.com and schedule today. That's VisionQuestEyeCare.com.
At Peterman Brothers, we know how critical AC can be to your comfort. And we want to make sure you're comfortable in every season. That's why right now, when you install a qualifying AC system with Peterman Brothers, we'll include the furnace for free. That's right, Indiana. The furnace is free. And if you schedule today, we'll install your new system tomorrow, guaranteed. Visit PetermanHVAC.com to schedule online in seconds.
Harding Porman is a full-service printing and brand communications company. From creative services and strategy to print, signage, digital output, warehousing and fulfillment, mailing, e-commerce storefronts, and even mobile solutions. They are dedicating to helping their clients get the most out of their brand communication efforts with the quality they can see and results they can be sure of. Get the most out of your brand communications. Certified to be the best, Harding Porman.
Welcome back to Bob Tully Field on the campus of Roncalli High School with Dan Lauk. I'm Jimmy Cook. Big fourth down for the Royals. They trail 15-0. It's 4th and 3 from the Braves 14. Two wide receivers to the right, one to the left. Ash in the gun. Dozier is tailback. Takes the snap. Quick pitch to Dozier. Trying to get the edge, and he's going to be brought short. There is a flag. It is in the initial line of scrimmage, so we'll see what this flag is about. But where it was thrown, Dan, I would almost guess it's going to be on the Royals.
Yeah, and you see the Brebeuf defenders celebrating now. I don't hate the play call. Get it to one of your athletes out in space and see what he can do, but it's not a good sign when, Coach Quintana loves to run power football. So when you're not confident in your offensive line and your running game to be able to pick up 1 or 2 yards there for the first down, and you're relying more on your athleticism against a defense that's more athletic than you, frankly, it's going to be a long night. So big series from the Roncalli defense here. You got two options.
Yep.
You drop a lot of defenders and try to defend the pass and let Gasky sit in the pocket. That hasn't worked so far. So we'll see here if the Royals decide to try to dial up some pressure to try to get him uncomfortable. But then you leave your guys on an island out there.
1st and 10 from the 17. Gasky in the gun. Two wide receivers on either side. Steps up in the pocket. He's going to tuck it and run. He slides down for a gain of 3. I'll say this, Dan, and you mentioned it with the athleticism aspect of this. Twice tonight the Royals have gone for it on 4th down, deep in opponent territory, trying to get the outside, and it hasn't been close.
Yeah, and it's not going to be there. I mean, you got to pick and choose where you decide to run those plays, and I'm sure the coaches saw something that they liked, but the Braves are just so fast on the edges, it's going to be tough to pick that up.
2nd and 6 from their own 21-yard line, a 15-0 lead for the Braves. 3 out to the right, 1 to the left. Gasky, quick pass is nearly intercepted. Royals had a good read on that. It was Eli Fitzgerald, had a good break on the ball. It was a quick pass to the right sideline that met turf, and it'll be 3rd and 6.
Yeah, and it's good to see the Royals continuing to be aggressive in the defensive backfield. You don't want to just sit back and be scared of the deep ball because Gasky will pick you apart underneath. And like you mentioned, Fitzgerald was there potentially to pick that off, but that ball was thrown way too hard for him to get to it.
4 wide receivers stacked to the right side, 1 to the left on this 3rd and 6 from their own 21. Should be noted, nobody in the backfield. It's just Gasky in the shotgun. Royals with 3 down linemen. Gasky, it's a screen. Royals read it the whole way, and it'll be a stop on 3rd down. No gain on the play. 4th and 6 for the Braves. And for the first time tonight, the Royals force a 3 and out.
Really big series there for the Roncalli defense. You start to build some confidence, and Eli Fitzgerald's got to get a shout-out for that one. He didn't break the ball up on the previous throw, but he was in the throwing lane, so Gasky wasn't able to put it on the money. And then that time he comes off a block very nicely and ends up making the tackle from behind. So huge series there from Fitzgerald in the defense.
Royals back deep to receive. I believe it's Sam Rader that stands there at the 39-yard line of Roncalli, and it's a fake, and the Braves are going to pick up this first down. It's a direct snap to the punter. He's going to gain 25, make it nearly 30. Well, we didn't mention this going in, but we knew from a year ago the Braves were not afraid to go for it on 4th down, and Brebeuf all of a sudden feel themselves a little bit with a gutsy call deep in their own territory directly to the punter. It's a scamper all the way to the 48 and a first down for Brebeuf.
And, Jimmy, I don't think that was called. I honestly thought Roncalli was going to block the punt. We were in position there. The punter saw it as well. Decided to take off. We had nobody out there for contain. So Coach talked about winning the special teams battle tonight. We're not doing it so far.
First and 10 from the 48. 3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Gasky looked, airs it out, has a man downfield. It's caught at the 15-yard line. An over-the-shoulder catch. Another beautiful hookup from Gasky to Clark. In the red zone, the Braves go once again with 9:55 to play in this first half.
And again, you got to know what the intention is on that route. That's a go route. That ball's going to be thrown deeply, and that's the second time now a Royal defender has turned their head way too early. These receivers, these Brave receivers, are faster than our defensive backs, so you got to be physical with them. Get your hand on their hip, stay engaged for at least another second or two, knowing that Gesky's going to try to hit the deep ball.
2 wide receivers out to the left, 1 to the right on this first and 10 from the Roncalli 14. Royals defense at this stage hoping it's just been a lot of bending and no break here in the red zone, in desperate need of a stop. Timeout, Brebeuf. We will take a 30-second timeout with them. 9:27 to play in this first half. Braves 15, Roncalli nothing.
At this time, we'd like to ask all alumni.
Proud supporter of Roncalli High School, Indy Teledata provides IT solutions for businesses and organizations in central Indiana. For over 10 years, Steve Battiato and his team of professionals have provided comprehensive computing support, business telephone solutions, network infrastructure, and productivity suite integration. For a free evaluation of your technology needs, give Steve and his team a call at 317-231-5547 or visit us at indyteledata.com.
9:27 to play in this first half with Dan Lauk. I'm Jimmy Cook. Thanks so much for joining us. Happy homecoming to you. I wish it were under happier circumstances as things stand right now, Dan. 15-0 advantage Brebeuf, and the Braves driving on the Roncalli 14. But in all seriousness, homecoming's always a special time. It's great to have the alumni back in there. Feels like the tailgate atmosphere is at another level. There are good vibes going in. They're just a little spoiled right now with what the Braves are doing.
Yeah, and it's still early in the game. We can get that homecoming magic back. But you're right, Jimmy. I mean, it's a beautiful night out here. Obviously, the Roncalli community is second to none. I've been grateful and blessed to be around it since I was a kid. And you love to see the big crowd out here. You'd love to see the Royals, turn something around here and make this a competitive game.
Be first and 10. From the Roncalli 14 for the Braves. 3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left, 1 man in the backfield. And it's a fake that's pulled back by Gesky, and the Royals had it the whole way. A duo of Royals there led by Cole Kessler, who makes the play.
And you can understand, Jimmy, why Brebeuf doesn't want to run the ball. Prior to that play, they had 2 rushing attempts. One was a scramble, one was the fake punt.
I was going to bring this up to you as well. Javon Brooks, at least from their Max Preps page, has not carried the ball once for them this year. And I say that to say he's a bigger back, I think just strictly there for pass blocking.
Yeah, I would say so too.
3 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right on 2nd and 14. Gesky, 2-step drop, throws towards the corner of the end zone. He did have an open receiver in Wells, but he overthrew him. 3rd and 14 upcoming.
That's his first miss of the night. He did get hit on that previous play, so you wonder if maybe one hit on a quarterback can get him out of his rhythm just a little bit, even though it was a running play. He hasn't touched the turf yet until that previous play, so hopefully that's going to get him off of his rhythm a little bit. That's his first throw that hasn't been on the money, so big 3rd and long here for the Royal defense.
Gesky to the sideline, now gets set in the gun. 3 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Royals in need of a stop on 3rd and 14. Gesky, low snap, scrambling, pressure coming, and he's going to be sacked initially, but gets it away in time. Looked like he was going to be sacked as he headed towards the sideline. In pursuit was Sam New. Then he kind of underarmed threw that ball down the sideline. It falls incomplete, and it'll be a field goal opportunity for the Braves. They try to add to their lead.
In that series, the Royals did get some better pressure up front, especially from Sam New and Justin Nancy. So good job by New for not giving up on that play and chasing him down. Gesky's still in there holding for this field goal attempt, so I'd definitely play it safe here.
It'll be about a 35-yard field goal for the Braves. Good snap, good hold. Kick is good. So the Braves have been on the field 3 times tonight and have scored 3 times. But that time, Royals hold them to just a field goal. We'll take a 30-second timeout. 8:40 to play in this second quarter. The Braves of Brebeuf, 18. Your Royals, nothing. Back in a moment on the Roncalli Media Network.
Providing comfort for families in their time of need is the main concern of the staff at Lauk Veldhoff Funeral Home. We are a small family-owned firm and take great pride in the personal service we offer and the family-like atmosphere at our facility. At Lauk Veldhoff, we only serve one family at a time, providing compassionate care and affordable options, truly part of your community. Lauk and Veldhoff Funeral and Cremation Services. Call 317-636-6655.
8:40 to play in this first half. With Dan Lauk, I'm Jimmy Cook. The Braves of Brebeuf lead your Royals 18-0 with 8:40 to play in this second quarter. 9 plays, 65 yards, 3 minutes and 16 seconds, capped off by a 35-yard field goal by Quinn Warren to give the Braves an 18-0 lead. Roncalli will look to get some type of spark as they have Morelli and Dozier back deep to receive the kick.
Yeah, and the Roncalli offense, Jimmy, has been able to move the ball fairly well here tonight. It's just been, again, the red zone woes, not being able to execute down there. So you put something together here, you potentially go for 2 to make it a 10-point game, you're right back in it. I mentioned it pregame, the Brebeuf Braves defense has given up a lot of points, so we got to get back in this thing.
Warren's kick is an end-over-ender that will make the end zone for a touchback. So the Royals will start from the 20-yard line. They've had some nice drives tonight that have both ended outside the red zone. Well, one inside, the other outside. But either way, Royals have gotten deep into Brebeuf territory and have been turned away both times. The athleticism of this Braves defense has shown off to this point, but Roncalli has to feel somewhat good about their ability to move the ball down the field.
Yeah, and look, Brebeuf has shown this year that they like to get out to hot starts. They were up double digits on Chittard in week 1 initially, and Chittard was able to claw back there and actually win it by a decent margin. So we'll see if the Royals can do the same.
Ash in the gun, Dozier is tailback. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right on 1st and 10 from his own 20. Ash takes the snap, 2-step drop. He'll loft it, has a man, it's caught by Pendergast at midfield. Gets a block to the 40, 35-30, 25-20, 15-10-5. Touchdown Royals. An 80-yard pass from Ash to Brandenburg, or correction, to Pendergast.
Well, you saw the wheels,
and just
Jimmy.
like that, you'd think it was Brandenburg with the wheels on Pendergast. An 85-yard strike from Ash to Pendergast, and Roncalli is on the board, 18-6.
I mean, that's a 6'2", 195-pound kid in J.J. Prendergast. I had no clue he had those wheels, especially against this athletic defense, but that's the play you need to get the momentum back, and a great job by Colin Ash there, waiting for Pendergast to clear the safeties before throwing it.
Whistler on for the point after try. Good snap, good hold. Kick is good. 80 yards. Ash to Pendergast. Puts the Royals on the board. 8:28 to play in this second quarter. Brebeuf 18, Roncalli 7. Back in a moment on the Roncalli Media Network.
Looking for reliable HVAC professionals? Look no further than Anne & Bartram Heating and Cooling. Whether you need a routine maintenance check or an emergency repair on a heating or cooling unit, Anne & Bartram are available to handle all of your heating, cooling, and ventilation needs. Anne & Bartram strive to be the best, so call them today at 317-889-9574. They even have 24/7 emergency service. Call them today, Anne & Bartram, 317-889-9574.
8:28 to play in this first half. The Royals, one play, 12 seconds, 80 yards. Ash to Prendergast, and Roncalli's on the board. I'll tell you what, you string together a couple of those, and this is a whole new ball game. But jokes aside, 2-possession game now.
Absolutely. This game is just getting started. As I mentioned, Brebeuf is used to playing in high-scoring shootouts, and the Royals are not used to hitting those big plays, but they like what they've seen from the Brebeuf defense. Typically, they drop in that sky coverage, which means they only have 3 guys deep with a free safety in the middle of the field. You run 4 verticals against that. If you get some good protection, you can hit a long play, and they did there.
Whistler trying to boot it away for a touchback, and he will indeed. Braves will set up shop at the 20. So the first time now tonight outside of the opening drive where the Royals defense can kind of operate with a little pep in their step.
I just got a text, Jimmy. Apparently, I said J.J. Prendergast is 295 pounds. Wow. Misread there, 195. Either way, he's
always need bodies in the trenches, Dan.
Yeah, but hey, big series here for the Roncalli defense. Let's see if they can get after Geske a bit.
Geske in the gun. Running back to his right side. 3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Quick screen. It's caught by Lewis. Has a block in front of him to the 25, now to the 30, and he has the first down.
Yeah, nice play there by Lewis. It looked like the Roncalli defense had him bottled up there, but, stayed alive rather than running out of bounds. He cut back to the middle of the field and was able to find a few more yards.
That'll move those chains. 1st and 10 for the Braves, 32-yard line. The tailback out there for the Braves is Chase Johnson. 3 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right on 1st and 10 from the 32. Geske, quick screen, caught by Lewis, breaks out of a tackle, and now he's in space to the 45 to the 50, and he's brought down at midfield. Missed tackle by the Royals on that initial penetration when the pass was made, and it leads to extra yardage to midfield.
Yeah, and right now what Geske is seeing is our outside linebackers are flying out with the out route, when really, when you get an out route from that position, you need to settle and expect a slant to come back in. They're not doing that right now, and it's an easy completion for Geske.
3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left for Geske. 1st and 10 from midfield. Quick screen right side. Blockers in front. Caught to the 45, 40. Got the edge of the 35, and finally forced out of bounds at the 32-yard line. The Braves see the Royals' 12-second drive, say, I can operate fast too. That's the way they're moving into Roncalli territory.
Yeah, and we're seeing Geske really distribute the ball. You've got 3 different players with 4 catches already, so they've got plenty of weapons across the field. You can't, like Franklin Central, you can't really key in on one player like Jayon Harvey against these Braves.
3 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Geske in the gun. 1st and 10 from the Roncalli 34. Braves lead at 18-7. 2-step drop, go ball, right side, caught. Beautiful hit laid down, but an easy reception into the breadbasket of Taylor Clark. He's been on another level tonight. 1st down, Braves.
Yeah, and the Royals brought some pressure there, got in Geske's face. It was a really nice catch because it wasn't a perfect throw. And a good hit by Sam Rader, but a nice job hanging onto the ball by the Braves receiver.
1st and 10 for the Roncalli 17-yard line. Royals, at least from the way the possession game is going, need to hold the Braves to a field goal here. 3 wide receivers to the right side, 1 to the left. 1st and 10 from the 17. Low snap. It's up for grabs, and the Braves will dive on it. It'll be a loss of 4.
Yeah, it looks like some miscommunication there from the Braves. The snap came back really slow. The Royals have had the Braves in this position a few times tonight behind the sticks, but the Braves have been able to hit their big chunk plays.
Only time they didn't was on this end of the field. They held them to 3.
Well, you know why this end of the field is nice, Jimmy, is that back line.
That extra defense.
Yeah, you got an extra defender there in the back of the end zone, so it limits what the Braves can do vertically. But big opportunity here. As you mentioned, if you hold them to a field goal, it's still just a 2-touchdown game.
3 wide receivers to the left, 2 to the right. 2nd and 15. Geske steps up, has a man over the middle, caught, touchdown Braves. Dylan Wells, easy slant to the house, 24-7 Brebeuf.
Yeah, and I really think, Jimmy, Brebeuf's just doing a great job pulling our interior defenders, whether it's a safety or an outside linebacker, out with the out routes, and it's making the middle of the field wide open, and you really cannot give a quarterback like Maverick Geske that type of easy pitch and catch. That might as well have been 7-on-7 out there. He was wide open, and got to figure something out defensively to slow that down. You can live with him making those tough throws to the sideline, but you can't give him easy ones like that.
High snap, but the PAT is good. 6:39 to play in this first half. Braves jump back out 25-7, extended to a 3-score game. Back in a moment on the Roncalli Media Network.
Marian University wants to know, what are you made of? At Marian University, our students are made of character and faith. Our students are service-minded and want to make a difference in the world. Our students possess the skills and intellect required of leaders. Come to Marian University, Indy's premier Catholic university, and let us help you find out what you're made of. You can apply for free today at marian.edu.
6:39 to play in this first half. 25-7 advantage Braves. Dan, what do the Royals need to muster on offense this time?
You know, you really don't want to go away from what you've been doing. You like what you see in the vertical pass game. I would guess Brebeuf's going to adjust to that. Really getting the ball out of half here, you really just need to find a way to get points. And even if it's just a field goal, that narrows it down to a 2-possession game. So you don't want to hit the panic button, but it's starting to get to that point where it's hard to see how Roncalli is going to stop this Brebeuf offense. So you don't want to allow this gap to get too big to where you really don't have much confidence to overcome it.
Well, the Royals will be back to receive. It'll be Morelli and Dozier standing in the end zone, awaiting Warren's kick. Royals could use another quick response drive. They will get the ball to start the second half, but points are paramount on this drive. That one will be fielded in the end zone by Morelli. He tried to tiptoe his way to the 1, but just could not field it there.
Yeah,
and it'll be out to the 20.
Obviously, with the rule, the ball goes into the end zone at all, or if a player's foot is in the end zone, it's an automatic touchback here. And you hit it, Jimmy. Dom really wants to get his hands on the ball there. He's tiptoeing right out of the end zone to try to let the referee take it out. But we'll take it here. Again, just a nice little rhythmic offensive drive here to pick up points is what Roncalli needs.
1st and 10 from their own 20. Wide receivers bunch to the left, shallow bunch, one to the right. Ash looking over the middle, caught by Sweezy for 6.
And you like that route, Jimmy, those spot patterns. We saw Kessler hit one earlier in the game, too. And what that does is it gets the Brebeuf safeties and defensive backs to start bite up a little bit earlier, and then that opens up the vertical pass
Same
game.
Formation on 2nd and 2, bunch trips to the left. Just along the line of scrimmage, one to the right. Ash in the gun. Handoff. Dozier, stutter step, plows forward, spinning, and we'll have the first down.
Royals getting back to what they like to do, the power run game there. Nice job by Zach Dozier to be patient. You remember back to Le'Veon Bell with the Pittsburgh Steelers, how slow he would look at the start of the play. Well, he's just letting everything develop, and it's exactly what Zach did there.
2 wide receivers to the left and 2 to the right on this 1st and 10 from their own 33, 5:50 to play in this first half. Handoff, Dozier makes a man miss, falls forward to the 40. Called a gain of 7, 2nd and 3.
Yeah, and a nice hard run there by Benich, and really that's what you miss with Ben Brandenburg is his ability to get yards after contact. But Rogan Benich being a bigger kid than Dozier, a bigger option, he's able to do that there. A nice pickup on 1st down.
3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. 2nd and 4 from the Roncalli 39. 5:25 to play second quarter. Braves 25, Royals 7. Ash looks over toward his wide receivers, changes the play, now gets set. Ash. Handoff. Dozier, full head of steam, has the first down, but a flag flies in what looks like the area of holding on the Royals.
At this time, we'd like to invite the Roncalli alumni from the classes of 1974 and 1999.
Yeah, it looks like it is going to be a hold, Jimmy. And you like the numbers that you're seeing right now for Roncalli because Brebeuf has backed off compared to what they did early in the game. And you can understand why. It's 25-7, but the numbers in the run game are going to be there now. And like we mentioned, you really just want to get points out of this drive. Hopefully even, you get the ball at half. If you score here, you honestly don't want Brebeuf to have too much time left on the clock for a drive of their own. You score here, make it a 2-possession game, get the ball at half, we're right back in it.
It's 2nd down.
Shallow trips to the left, 1 to the right on 2nd and 4 from the 39. Ash, 2-step drop, fakes one way, now fires over the middle, incomplete. Nearly intercepted. Morelli was the intended target. Well, there were 2 Royals there. Look, they almost ran the same route on opposite sides of the field. Jacob Sahumi was there for the Braves with the near pick, 3rd and 12.
Yeah, and you never want 2 guys in the same position there. And you could see the Braves have adjusted. Rudy Shutley throttled down there in the middle of his route to try to fake the spot. Safety didn't bite at all and was on top of that route the whole time.
3 wide receivers to the left side, 1 to the right for Ash on this 3rd and 12. From their own 31. Ash looks to the sideline, now gets set with 5 on the play clock. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff, rolls to his left, pressure coming. He'll throw on the run in the dirt, and the Royals will be forced to punt.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big loss there on that drive because obviously, you're already down 3 scores, but you give the ball back to this Braves offense, which has obviously shown it's extremely high-powered with just under 5 minutes on the clock. They can score in 10 seconds. So really tough position here for the Roncalli defense coming up.
Taylor Clark, who's been a menace, back to receive. Whistler, it's a sidewinder that's fair caught by Clark at the 33-yard line. And that's where the Braves will set up shop. Well, Brebeuf has scored every time they've touched the ball tonight. They lead at 25-7.
And I mentioned, Jimmy, I really thought coming into this game the goal would be to try to get pressure with 4, meaning you're only rushing 4 defenders and drop as many defensive backs back as you could. But Geski's shown that he can hit those small windows. So especially with the deficit being what it is right now, I really think we're going to have to force some turnovers here by bringing pressure on Geski.
3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. 1st and 10 from the 33 of Brebeuf. They lead 25-7, 4:45 to go. Handoff up the middle and a great tackle upstairs by Prendergast.
Yeah, there's the pressure, Jimmy. And again, I don't even know if this Brebeuf offensive line practices run blocking because they don't look comfortable doing it. They're definitely a team that's much more comfortable in the quick passing game, and I'm sure they're going to get back to that here.
The line was the equivalent of a revolving door, that particular handoff. 2nd and 13 from their own 30. 3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Geski, 3-step drop, pressure coming, nearly evades it. Now he does, throws cross body, and it's caught by Clark at the 50. Now he's at midfield. A flag will fly to the 45, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. If that's not a penalty, it's a house call for the Braves. Let's wait and see. A trio of flags through at the 45-yard line. If this is on Brebeuf, Roncalli can give a shout-out to Pope Angelo. Yeah. It is going to go against the Braves.
And it's not surprising. A fantastic play there by Brebeuf running all the way across the field. It was a great throw from Geski, a nice catch in traffic, and then just put the burners on, came all the way across the field, and nobody on Roncalli defense was fast enough to catch him. But luckily for the Royals, they catch a break there with the penalty.
As Dan mentioned, Clark caught that on the right sideline and covered an extra 25 yards, right to left at least.
Yeah. At least, and that's why he's on the sideline now, because he's gassed. He's had a great half, 6 catches, 157 yards, and a touchdown. So I'm sure they want to get him back out there after he catches a breath here.
So I believe it was a hold on the Braves. The way the foul is assessed, it'll be 1st and 10 from the Braves' own 46-yard line. 3 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right, 4:02 to play in this half. Geski looking for a screen. Instead, he pump fakes, airs it out, and it was up for grabs, but the Royals could not track it down. Falls incomplete in the middle of the field, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and a nice little blitz there on the edge there from the Royals. Again, I think that's going to have to be what they're going to do the rest of the game, is put pressure on Geski, knowing that dropping 8 back in the coverage is not working so far for the Royals.
2nd and 10 from their own 46, 3:58 to play, second quarter. Braves with the football and a 25-7 lead. Roncalli will get the ball to start the second half, but in desperate need of a turnover or at least something to give the offense a chance to double dip. 3 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Ash in the gun, a tailback to the right side that's primarily used the pass blocker. Geski looking. In this case, it's an extra route that is run by his tailback, but it's off the fingertips of Brooks. 3rd down.
And you can see there, Jimmy, is just what I talked about last possession. Our outside linebackers are getting too wide, and Brebeuf knows that. So that time they send the back out of the backfield. But you should never let the receiver, the running back in that case, cross your face to the middle of the field. Roncalli plays with 2 high safeties, so you don't have that free safety sitting in the middle of the field to help you. So you got to protect your inside.
You kind of ran that Texas route where you go up and then cut right back over the middle.
Yeah.
It was wide open just sitting there. 3rd and 10, 3 to the right, 1 to the left. Geski, quick throw over the middle. It's broken up. Great defense by the Royals. Lewis had that in the air and was coming down with it. It's broke down by Dylan Henry. A major first down saving play, and the Royals, barring a fake, are going to get the ball back.
Yeah, barring a fake by Brebeuf's leading rusher, the punter. I'm not joking. They are negative yardage rushing outside of their punter. But really nice play there by Henry. He did get his face crossed and gave up the inside like I was just talking about, but he caught up and was able to break that up.
High snap. Royals once again almost get there. It's a side spiraling punt that takes a Braves bounce to the 20. It'll roll to the 18, the 16, and finally be down. A nice punt blasted into the air by Quinn Warren, and the Royals will have to go 83 yards if they want 6 before half and have 3:36 to do it, down 25-7.
Yeah, and Coach Quintana talked about it in the pregame interview. The Royals wanted to win the game in the trenches. Brebeuf saying, what are trenches? Just taking the trenches completely out of it. Reliant on their pass game, which is what they should do, because Roncalli, if you've noticed up front, even defensively, Roncalli's been much better up front than Brebeuf. It's just been pick apart an open space, which is exactly what Brebeuf wants to do, and it's tough to enact the trenches at this point when you're down 25-7.
2 wide receivers to the left, 2 to the right. 1st and 10 from the 17 for Roncalli. Ash in the gun, takes the snap. 2-step drop, pressure's there. He'll throw, passes deflected and nearly intercepted. 2nd down.
Now, I talked to Coach Brian Lauk before the game, Jimmy, and he mentioned the players that were going to be out, specifically Brandenburg and Charlie Elsner. Obviously, Henry Adams has been out for a few weeks, and I said, that's going to hurt you athletically. And he said, really, where it really hurts us is those guys are our leaders. Those are our go-tos to be able to settle everybody down. So somebody's going to need to step up in that role now.
2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Correction as they shift that, make it 1 wide receiver to the right and 2 to the left for Ash on 2nd and 10 from his own 17. Handoff up the middle, goes nowhere. Maybe a gain of 2. 3rd down. And I will begin to point this out, Dan. We're getting into close territory where Brebeuf might want to think about using some timeouts.
Oh, no doubt. I would totally expect them to here. Obviously, if Roncalli doesn't pick up a 1st down here, I think what they're thinking is, we only need a minute to score, right? At this point, with 3 minutes still on the clock, they're not going to use one here.
3rd and 9 from their own 18 for the Royals. Under 3 to go. 3 to the left, 1 to the right. Ash dropped, throws, deflected, falls incomplete. 4th down, Royals. Braves don't even have to burn a timeout. They'll have 2:53 to operate with, and we know he's capable of it, and you ask so much of him because the amount of talent and power Levi Whistler gets out of his leg is understated and can't be overstated enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's not.
They need it now. I know it's not a good sign that we're asking for that with 2 and 3 to go, but you need every bit of max power from Levi Whistler.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, he's definitely a weapon. You just don't want to call his name too many times because that means we're not doing well offensively.
I will call his name too many times. I'm saying school record-like punt here needed from Levi Whistler. That one's going to be a sidewinder that needs to take a bounce for the Royals, and it will not. It'll get to the 42-yard line. But a flag does fly. Let's see who this goes against.
It looked like there was maybe some chirping in the middle of the field between a Brebeuf and Roncalli player. So we'll see here.
Personal foul on unsportsmanlike conduct from the Braves.
Yeah, that's what it looked like there, and you could see the Roncalli player clapping. So I don't know. I didn't see exactly what happened, but backs Brebeuf up. That's a big penalty. Brebeuf would have been starting at their own 42. It's going to back them up almost to, inside the 30. So really interested to see what the Roncalli defense tries to do here. Do you pressure Geske? If you do that, you're leaving your DBs on an island, so you better get home with the blitz. You drop 8 back. He's shown the ability to find those tight little windows to fit the ball in. So there's really no good option here.
You mentioned that you can't watch one guy. I will say watch one guy. Watch Taylor Clark.
Yeah.
Because that has been his favorite target to this point tonight.
No doubt.
And definitely the most dangerous. But you're right, Dan. You can't – it's a pick your poison mentality with how talented this offense is in the passing game. 1st and 10 for their own 28. 2:45 to play in this first half. Braves with the ball, 25-7 lead. Geske, screen, right side, caught. Brooks makes a man miss to the 30, and he slipped and fell down at the 33. So it'll be a gain of 5 after all that. 2nd and 5.
And again, you can see how good of an athlete Brooks is as well. Just Roncalli really outmatched athletically right now, and not much you can do to overcome that.
3 wide receivers out to the left, 1 to the right. Geske, 2nd and 4, looks right the whole way. It's caught by Wells, fights for extra yardage. He'll pick up about 3, 3rd and 1, 2:10 to play in this first half.
And Brebeuf taking their time. They've obviously got timeouts in their pocket still, and we know how explosive they can be, but this is a big 3rd down here.
Geske in the gun. 3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. He's running for his life. Right side. He'll throw. Is that caught on the sideline? No, it is not. Man, he had a receiver towards the left side. I don't know if that was Clark or not. Either way, it's incomplete. It's 4th and 1. And let's see what they do.
Oh, they got to punt this away.
Now, the reason, listen. I know that this is the video game man
right
guy,
now.
and this is the coach. You're the coach. I'm the crazy mad scientist over here. Your defense has played pretty solid, and I know you're kind of kicking the hornet's nest a little bit if you go for it, but you're up 3 scores as it is.
Here's my thing, Jimmy. They could still get the ball back. I mean, there's just under 2 minutes. They've got timeouts, so I think that's what they're thinking is. And
late sub for the Royals. They're going to have to burn a timeout. Otherwise, it would have been an automatic first down.
Yeah. So, you definitely punt it away here with the lead that you have, and don't give the Royals any life, especially knowing how well your defense have played. As you said, Jimmy, you can potentially take some timeouts, get the ball back again.
For the Roncalli side of things, I asked Kevin this last week. I'll ask you this now. You get the ball back with a minute and, let's say, 40, 45 to play. How aggressive are you?
Well, at this point, you have to be really aggressive, right? You don't want to go into this half down 3 scores, which is what they're at right now. So you do what you can. Obviously, Brebeuf has adjusted their defense. They came out playing with a really heavy box, meaning they've got a lot of defenders within the tackles there and up on the line of scrimmage just to stop that Roncalli run. And as I mentioned earlier, Coach Quintana wanted this to be a battle in the trenches, and they've completely eliminated that by creating this deficit now. So Roncalli can't rely on their run game and controlling the clock, which was one of our keys to the game. They're going to have to air it out, but at this point, Brebeuf knows that. They're going to back off, play with some safeties now, and make you beat them athletically, which is going to be really tough to do.
Warren set to punt it away. It's a low snap that takes a hop, but no Royal pressure got through, and that's a beauty of a punt that's going to be taken at the 15, trying to get to the 20. Brought down from behind. A horse collar tackle is made by the Braves. That's Chase Johnson, the guilty party. And that'll give the Royals a little bit of a boost here with 1:40 to play in the half.
Yeah, and there's a reason that's a penalty. That's a really dangerous tackle, and it's good to see Sam Rader get up and hobble to the sidelines. He's a tough kid, so while it's a good sign that he's up on his feet, it's not a guarantee that he's not hurt, because that was a violent tackle. And I'm not saying Brebeuf was doing anything dirty. That kid was chasing him down from the back, but it is a penalty. You don't want players being taken down from the horse collar, because that's when you get those legs in awkward positions.
So it'll set the Royals up at their own 34-yard line. 1st and 10, 1:40 to play in this first half. 25-7 Braves lead. 2 wide receivers to the left and 1 to the right for Ash. Quick screen, right side. Braves read it the whole way. Brooks was there. He came sprinting across the field before the ball was out of Ash's hands. A loss of 5.
And that's going to be it, Jimmy. They're backed off now. They're not crowding the line of scrimmage. Brebeuf is more than happy to keep everything in front of them, give up 5-yard gains, and they've got the athletes to turn those 5-yard gains into negative plays, actually.
2nd and 14 from their own 30. They called a loss of 4 instead. The Royals will hand it off to the right side with space to the 40, out to the 45. First down, Royals.
And, this is why the beginning of the game is so important. Roncalli's now got Brebeuf to back up to where they've got the numbers in the running game. But at this point, you've got to be able to move it down the field explosively.
Under a minute to go in this first half. 1st and 10 from the 45. Ash looks, screen, right side. Prendergast lowers the shoulder to the 50. He'll gain 5. And the Royals will have to burn a timeout. 50 seconds to play in this second quarter. We will keep it right here. Roncalli on their own 45-yard line, make it just past that. The scoreboard itself hasn't been updated yet. The ball is currently marked at the 49-yard line of Brebeuf. So the Royals across midfield but looking to move the chains once more. And Dan, I'll let you look at it as the former coach. It feels like the Royals, based on their attack, are hoping something breaks open in the running game. They're not as open to trying to, and it's in part because that's what the Braves are giving them right now.
Yeah.
But they're not wanting to go out there and just take empty shots and prayers. They're trying to get something to break open over the middle or in the run game.
Which is what they should do. You're throwing against – you're spitting into the wind if you're going to try to hit something vertical right now, because Brebeuf's just not going to give that to you, and it's going to take a miracle to be able to hit one of those plays. So you're going to have to chunk it down the field methodically. The problem is we're down to one timeout because we had to burn one on special teams on the previous drive.
2nd and 4 from the Braves 49. Ash, two-step drop. He'll air it out downfield. Nobody home. It was intended for Prendergast. I'm not sure if the wrong route was run, if it was miscommunication, or if Prendergast just got tied up with the defender. Either way, it's 3rd and 4.
Yeah, looked like a combination of all of what you just said, and it's honestly probably a good thing that JJ didn't continue running that route, because he would have brought the defender with him, and the defender was in a much better position than he was.
3rd and 4, 45 seconds to play in the half, 25-7 Braves. 3rd and 4 from the 49 of Brebeuf. Ash, two-step drop, throws over the middle. Nearly intercepted. It hit the turf first, they'll say. Incomplete. And Roncalli will be forced to punt this away again.
Yeah, we'll see what they do here. I mean, there's a chance. It looks like they're going to send the punting unit out there, which is probably the right call.
Yeah, you can't. I suppose you could argue that Roncalli will win the battle of the trenches and do a handoff here to gain 4, but they've, 0 for 2 already on 4th down tonight?
And you only have one timeout left, so you're really would have been tough to score points anyways.
Whistler set to boot it away. Levi receives it. Royals are going to fake it. It's a screen to the 50, and it's lit up the entire way. Pendergast is tackled at the 50-yard line, about 5 yards short of the line to gain. The Royals get tricky with their punting unit, and it comes up snake eyes, turnover on downs.
That one never had a chance, Jimmy. And when you want to run the trick plays on special teams when they're not expecting it. And at this point, being up 3 scores, Brebeuf's going to sit back. They're not going to come after the punt. You need them to rush the punt on that play for that to work, and they're just sitting back in a safe return. Nothing there.
So now the Braves could really put an exclamation point on this game. Screen to Lewis to the 50, out to the 45, and the Braves will take a timeout. 27 seconds to play in this first half. Braves 25, Royals 7. Well, a reminder, coming up next on our halftime show, we'll have a full look at the first half stats. A lot of Braves to admire, but a couple of Royals as well that deserve some views of admiration. Of course, we'll get Dan's second half keys to the game as well, and of course a feature piece on what's happening around the campus of Roncalli High School. Here on homecoming night, a great crowd all the way around. A lot of alumni making the trip back to Bob Tully Field. That's always a special part of these games when this matchup, not against Brebeuf necessarily, but this date on the calendar appears. It's a trip down memory lane for a lot of Royals, Dan.
Absolutely, and it's kind of unique. When you think of homecoming for most high schools, it's really the one time that people come back to school, right? This community is a little bit different, to where this Friday night, while it does feel a little more special, you got your alumni coming back every week, which is great. That's what I love about this place. But it is homecoming. It's special. You hope the Royals can turn it around here to make it even more special.
3 wide receivers to the right side, 1 to the left, 2nd and 6 from the Roncalli 44. Geske, 3-step drop, pressure comes. He avoids it initially, and now he's sacked. It'll be a loss of 4. And the Braves will burn their final timeout. 20 seconds to play. Great work by the Royals defense.
Yeah, great job by Justin Anciso to continue on the pass rush there. He had to chase Geske down from behind. He did a really nice job with the chop from the arm to try to force a turnover there, which is really what the Royals need. Braves taking a timeout here in 3rd and long. They're now out of timeout, so you got to expect them to either go to the sideline here or try to get it all in one play.
From a defensive standpoint, these last 2 plays where the Royals have gotten pressure, how much of that has been a change in their formation look, and how much of that is getting home with what they were initially sending?
Yeah, well, I think they are starting to get a little more pressure with just 4, but they are mixing in blitzes. So that that Brebeuf or offensive line is not as comfortable now, knowing that there is a risk of a blitz, which Roncalli didn't show early on. But the Roncalli defensive line has done a pretty good job. They could do a little better in contain, which, Sam New last possession did a great job with that, keeping Geske running backwards and having to make a throw on the run. But, at this point, though, it's you really got to force something to happen. And that's why I love Justin Anciso there going in with the chop of the arm to try to force a fumble. On this play, Jimmy, you got to keep everything in bounds and in front of you, but Brebeuf does have a very good field goal kicker, so you don't want him to get too much yardage here.
2 wide receivers to the right, 2 to the left on 3rd and 13, and the Royals will burn their final timeout. So a bit of chess work.
Yep. And here's the thing,
Coach
Jimmy.
Quintana.
It's 3rd and 13. So here's the thing. If you can keep them down in bounds and keep them from picking up the first down, the spike's not in play because it'll be 4th down at that point, right? So really, if you're Brebeuf, you're looking at everything at the sidelines or extremely deep. So Brebeuf has hurt us in the middle of the field a lot tonight, but you're really not as worried about that on this play because Brebeuf knows if they get tackled prior to the first down, they're going to have to get up to the ball quickly and actually run a play and not just spike it.
I agree with you on that, but I would also point out, with the athleticism present by Brebeuf,
they could just run by you.
You have to make that initial tackle.
Yeah.
Because if you have a one-on-one in the middle of the field, that's great.
Yeah.
But you have to follow through on that tackle. Otherwise, you risk the clock stopping with a move of the chains, or worse, a house call.
Yeah, totally. But I think that's the route you want to go.
Sure.
You want to keep everything pushed to the middle of the field here. Push it to your safeties in the middle and try to keep Brebeuf. You have them complete something underneath to potentially tackle them short of the first down and keep that clock running.
3rd and 13 from their own 49. Geske, quick throw over the middle, caught for the first down. Clock will momentarily stop. It'll be at the 39-yard line. Clock will stop to move the chains. 14 seconds remain. Geske, quick snap. They don't spike it. He looks left, goes home run, downfield into double coverage, and nearly intercepted. Dylan Henry was there in coverage. 9 seconds to play in this first half. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and listen, you understand why Roncalli took the timeout previously. You get your defense set up, but it also gave Brebeuf an opportunity to put 2 plays in the call sheet. So as a coach, you tell your offense, hey, if we pick up this first down, let's get on the ball, and rather than spike it, here's the play. You already know it. We don't have to call anything in. Let's go. And they did that. Good job by the Roncalli defense staying on top of the routes, though, and not allowing the big play.
3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Geske in the gun, 2nd and 10 from the Roncalli 36. 9 seconds to play. Geske is swallowed up by pressure, gets it away. It's caught by Brooks, and he's going to get out of bounds with 3 seconds to play. So it keeps one shot alive for the Braves. Not taking the sack there unless they're going to kick a field goal.
Yeah, I think they are. And based on their first field goal attempt, this kid definitely has the leg. This one's going to be from about 47 yards or so, it looks like. So, this is going to be a deep one, 49 yards. So he's definitely got the leg to do it. And if he hits this, it's going to take all the air out of this place.
Quinn Warren can make it a 28-7 advantage for the Braves right here. A 47-yarder with 3 seconds to play. Good snap, good hold. Kick is up, and it is no good. He pushed it wide left. So the Royals will hang their hat on that going into the intermission. Quinn Warren pushes it to the right. The math, though, is still 3 scores. But instead it would have been 3 touchdowns and 3 scores to try to get the Royals back in this ball game. Either way, it still gives Roncalli something to hang their hat on a tiny bit at the intermission, but a lot to clean up.
Yeah, you're not dead yet, obviously. It's 25-7. You're not really built to come back from this type of lead. But what you can point to is, hey, guys, listen, this Brebeuf defense has been giving up points all year. We've shown the past few weeks that we can put up a lot of points. So we're not out of this, and I think coming out of half, the idea is let's run the ball. If they're going to play off, let's run the ball all the way down the field, get this down to a much more manageable score and see what we can do the rest of the half.
For Brebeuf, and we're going to talk about this, I know, in the first segment of halftime, but near perfect half, close to it.
Yeah, Maverick Geske, especially in that first quarter, was unbelievable, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's only a junior with several Division I offers. That kid can throw the ball with any of them. But, I think if you're Brebeuf, especially on the road. Now, here's the thing. It's unique. They had a bye week last week. You don't see a lot of high school football teams with that. I don't know if they had a scheduling issue or what, but played Guerin Catholic 2 weeks ago, an emotional loss for the Braves. They had 2 weeks to prepare for Roncalli, and you could tell they were ready and prepared coming out here, and they executed perfectly, especially in that first quarter.
It has been a season of streaks for the Royals. They win their opener, they lose 2 straight, then they win 2 straight for the first time all year after that 35-21 victory against Guerin Catholic. But the Braves of Brebeuf came out swinging and lead it 25-7 at the intermission. This is homecoming night, so it's a bit of an extended halftime. We're going to have plenty for you here at the break. We're going to have first half stats, a look ahead to Dan's second half keys for both sides, a look around campus and what new exciting things are happening here on the campus of Roncalli High School, and of course, celebrate homecoming and enjoy a little trip back to the campus for alumni celebration of homecoming here at Roncalli High School. At the break, the Braves 25, the Royals 7. We will step away for 4 minutes and be back with our halftime show after this on the Roncalli Media Network.
Hi folks, it's Ben Stallings with Beck Service Center. Automotive breakdowns and routine maintenance never come at a good time. Let us help take the stress out of your automotive repairs. With 10 mechanics and 32 bays, we can get you back up and running with minimal downtime. Quality parts, experienced mechanics, locally owned and operated since 1977. Located at the southeast corner of Madison and Edgewood, we are pretty darn good at fixing cars. Let's go Royals.
At Peterman Brothers, we know how critical AC can be to your comfort. And we want to make sure you're comfortable in every season. That's why right now when you install a qualifying AC system with Peterman Brothers, we'll include the furnace for free. That's right, Indiana. The furnace is free. And if you schedule today, we'll install your new system tomorrow, guaranteed. Visit PetermanHVAC.com to schedule online in seconds.
Marian University wants to know, what are you made of? At Marian University, our students are made of character and faith. Our students are service-minded and want to make a difference in the world. Our students possess the skills and intellect required of leaders. Come to Marian University, Indy's premier Catholic university, and let us help you find out what you're made of. You can apply for free today at marian.edu.
Hey, maybe the summer blew by and your child hasn't been to his or her back-to-school eye exam. Let the experts take a look and schedule an appointment today with Vision Quest Eye Care. Vision Quest has 2 locations to serve you and your family in Greenwood and Geist. Visit VisionQuestEyeCare.com and schedule today. That's VisionQuestEyeCare.com.
A proud supporter of Roncalli High School, Indy Teledata provides IT solutions for businesses and organizations in central Indiana. For over 10 years, Steve Battiato and his team of professionals have provided comprehensive computing support, business telephone solutions, network infrastructure, and productivity suite integration. For a free evaluation of your technology needs, give Steve and his team a call at 317-231-5547 or visit us at indyteledata.com. Providing comfort for families in their time of need is the main concern of the staff at Lauk-Veldoff Funeral Home. We are a small family-owned firm and take great pride in the personal service we offer and the family-like atmosphere at our facility. At Lauk-Veldoff, we only serve one family at a time, providing compassionate care and affordable options, truly part of your community. Lauk-Veldoff Funeral and Cremation Services. Call 317-636-6655.
When looking for reliable HVAC professionals, look no further than Anne and Bartram Heating and Cooling. Whether you need a routine maintenance check or an emergency repair on a heating or cooling unit, Anne and Bartram are available to handle all of your heating, cooling, and ventilation needs. Anne and Bartram strive to be the best, so call them today at 317-889-9574. They even have 24/7 emergency service. Call them today, Anne and Bartram, 317-889-9574.
Harding Porman is a full-service printing and brand communications company. From creative services and strategy to print, signage, digital output, warehousing and fulfillment, mailing, e-commerce storefronts, and even mobile solutions. They are dedicating to helping their clients get the most out of their brand communication efforts with the quality they can see and results they can be sure of. Get the most out of your brand communications. Certified to be the best, Harding Porman.
Welcome back to Bob Tully Field on the campus of Roncalli High School. With Dan Lauk, I'm Jimmy Cook. It's all Braves of Brebeuf. The 12th-ranked Braves lead your 8th-ranked Royals 25-7. The halftime show is on. Let's take a look at the first half stats. What jumps out at you when you immediately look at this? For me, and I think that this is your answer as well, so I'm sorry for cheating, 343 yards through the air for the Braves in that first half.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. 33 pass attempts, 22 completions, average of 15.6 yards per catch, pass efficiency rating of 183.98.
343 and a half is absurd.
That's absurd.
Like there's no way around it. It is absolutely insane.
Yeah, and especially when you look at the rushing attempts, and I know it says they have 14 yards rushing, but 28 of those were from their punter. They are negative rushing the ball. They have they might as well not even have a running back out there.
Should be five wide.
Protection.
Should be 5 wide or pass pro.
I mean, you like that if you're Roncalli, if it's a close game, because then you can control time of possession. You keep the game close. You make them chuck it a bunch, but you are running the ball still. But this is the type of game that Brebeuf wanted, where you put Roncalli behind, it's going to be really tough to claw back. So it's really important against a team like Brebeuf that you get up early on them, but unfortunately it was the other way around tonight.
We'll make this observation now, and maybe you can push back against this if you'd like. The running game is a primary focal point of this offense. In my mind, at least right now, is abandoned. Not fully, but to an extent that's no longer how you can really dictate and dominate the trenches of this game. I'm willing to hear one argument to that, and maybe you have another one, but the only argument I can hear to that, Dan, is if you're suddenly able to lock up Brebeuf offensively. Mm-hmm. If you can do that, then maybe you can still run the ball. If you can't do that side of it defensively, you're going to run out of possessions.
Yeah. No, there's no doubt about that. You are right. I think my argument would be football is really just a game of math. And if Brebeuf defensively is backing off and playing with 2 high safeties or playing their sky coverage and giving you numbers in the box, if you're Roncalli, you have to run the ball. You're not going to be able to complete long chunk plays against that defense. So I think especially early in the third quarter, if Brebeuf is giving you that look where they're going to back off and allow you to run the ball, you got to do it and cut into this lead a little bit. But the longer it goes where this is a 3-possession game, I mean, you're right, Jimmy. You're going to run out of time to where unless you can shut out this Brebeuf offense, which is a big ask, you're going to run out of time. So you are going to have a few explosive plays, but you got to pick and choose where they come. Run the ball 3 times. Get them to start creeping up to the line of scrimmage more, and then see if you can hit one over the top. But you're not going to be able to just drop back and throw the ball 10-plus yards every play here in the second half.
That said, Zach Dozier in replace of Ben Brandenburg out this week with an injury. 12 carries, 61 yards, and Rogan Benish to some extent, 5 carries, 17 yards. For their team totals, the Royals about 4.5, just under 4.5 yards per carry. Is that good enough?
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. Obviously the situation they're in the game, they can't run their normal power counter look offensively, so that's tough. If you look at the total yardage, 227 total yards at half for Roncalli, you look at that and you think, that's pretty solid, but 80 of that came on 1 pass play, so that cuts into it a little bit, and you've only got 7 points on the board, and at the end of the day, yardage doesn't matter. So you got to be able to, we've talked about this at length, you got to be able to punch the ball in the end zone inside the 20s, and that's the difference in the game so far. Had Roncalli been able to convert inside the red zone early in the game, it's a completely different feel right now, but they weren't able to do that, and Brebeuf was, and because of that, it completely changes how you have to approach your offensive game plan.
Does anything immediately pop into your head for how the Royals can jump back into this thing on the defensive side of the ball?
Well, you got to force turnovers. So I think, it's your game plan going into it, at least from what it looked like, was to back off and try to get pressure with 3 or 4, but play with as many defensive backs as you possibly could, knowing that Geski's going to throw the ball a ton. The problem is Geski's not missing, and he's being able to throw it into windows that are really tight. And at this point, you've really got to try to put pressure on him. The few times that Roncalli's been close to forcing a turnover is when Sam New or Justin Anciso is in, or J.J. Prendergast is in Geski's face and a ball gets tipped or something like that. So you've really got to force their hand here. Now, the risk with that, are you comfortable losing 50-7, right? Because if you really want to try to get back in this game, if you really want to, if your goal is to try to win the game, you're going to have to take some major risks, and you got to know and be comfortable with the fact that Geski could get the ball out quickly and find one of his guys in space, and then you're toast. So if you want to win, you take on that risk. But if you want to just try to keep it close so you don't lose your players' confidence, then you obviously don't go after the quarterback. So, but I knowing Coach Quintana and this defensive staff, I think they'll try to force something here. But this first possession offensively out of half is going to be crucial for the Royals.
We are going to take a quick break. Not a fully quick break. We'll take a break for about 2 minutes or so. And when we return, we'll take an updated look at the Roncalli campus and some changes that might be happening in the future for Roncalli with our usual conversation with the president, Chuck Weisenbach. That piece on an update for the Roncalli high school community is around the corner. Then a little later, we'll have Dan's keys to the second half and ultimately the kick of half number 2 at the break. Brebeuf 25, Roncalli 7, a chat with President Weisenbach when we come back.
Hey, maybe the summer blew by and your child hasn't been to his or her back-to-school eye exam. Let the experts take a look and schedule an appointment today with Vision Quest Eye Care. Vision Quest has 2 locations to serve you and your family in Greenwood and Geist. Visit VisionQuestEyeCare.com and schedule today. That's VisionQuestEyeCare.com. Never lose your drive to deliver. Today's logistics marketplace is an ever-changing landscape where you can make your mark through dedication and passion. At Spot, these characteristics, along with drive and teamwork, form the basis for a rewarding, fast-paced career. Take it from our Roncalli co-founder and our dynamic group of Royals alumni. They've never lost the entrepreneurial spirit that provides the foundation for our continued success. There's never been a time like this, and there has never been a partner like Spot. We're relentless, we are experts, we are accomplished, and like you, we will never lose our drive to deliver. Come find your spot at spotinc.com/careers. Go Royals!
A proud supporter of Roncalli High School, Indy Teledata provides IT solutions for businesses and organizations in central Indiana. For over 10 years, Steve Battiato and his team of professionals have provided comprehensive computing support, business telephone solutions, network infrastructure, and productivity suite integration. For a free evaluation of your technology needs, give Steve and his team a call at 317-231-5547 or visit us at indyteledata.com.
Steve's Flowers and Gifts is your family-owned Indianapolis and Greenwood florist. Our mission is to establish and maintain the highest level of floral value and customer service at comfortable consumer prices. For the best and freshest flowers in Indianapolis and surrounding areas, Steve's Flowers and Gifts has exactly what you're looking for. Check out our wide selection of flower arrangements to make your next occasion memorable. Call 317-787-3431 or visit us at 3150 East Thompson Road.
Greetings, Roncalli family. Great to be back with you for another school year and another year of a few minutes with the president. I have to chuckle each summer when folks say to me, I'll bet it's pretty quiet there at school. Some folks think we just shut the doors in May and close up shop for 10 weeks. Nothing could be further from the truth, and this summer was no exception. It was jam-packed with activities and a number of significant capital improvements to our school and campus. I'd like to share with you what's been happening at Roncalli this summer. Our athletic and academic camps hosted a record number of campers. Over 1,750 future Royals attended one or more camps. That shatters our previous high number of summer campers. Thank you to all of our families who shared their children with us. It was a joy having them on campus. Thank you as well to our coaches and teachers for their great work in making these summer camp opportunities available. Our Junior Royal Theater has been at capacity each summer since its inception in 2006. Once again, we had a full session of 50 future Royal Thespians in June and a second full session in July, with each group putting on a performance of Finding Nemo. Thank you to our theater alums, current theater students, and all in the Performing Arts Department for once again providing such a wonderful, wholesome experience. Maybe not quite as glamorous, we did make significant improvements to our infrastructure that puts our school in great working order for many, many years to come. Those improvements included a new boiler system for the 1962 portion of our school. That original boiler heated the school for 61 years. I think we got our money's worth out of that one. It's been replaced by a much smaller and more efficient boiler. New air conditioning in our cafeteria, Bishop Sharpton gym, and kitchen area. A new chiller in the 97 wing. New HVA system in our bubble gym. All of these changes will bring substantial savings to our school through their efficiency. A huge thank you to all who made these improvements possible. The Roncalli Spirit Store, which continues to be ultra popular, was doubled in size. This expansion allows us to accomplish our goal of having a robust online presence, which allows Royals here in our community and around the world to purchase their favorite Roncalli merchandise online. You might recall last year's Circle of Faith Annual Fund included 2 new additions to our campus. The stage in the Bishop Sharpton Gymnasium has been converted into a wellness center for faculty and staff. It includes a fitness workout area, as well as a lounge area for faculty and staff that can also serve as a meeting space and hospitality area. Both of them are up and ready for use. The second piece of the Annual Fund project is the building of a large outdoor pavilion that will go to the east of the visitors' bleachers in Roncalli Stadium. Contracts have been signed and work is about to begin. It's going to be a huge asset to our school. All of that in just one summer. Unbelievable. We're so grateful for the many ways in which God continues to bless our school. We're also grateful to all of you who continue to support Roncalli through your gifts of time, talent, treasure, and prayer. We could not do it without you. God bless you. Go Royals, and let's make it a great school year. St. John the 23rd, pray for us.
Service Center. Automotive breakdowns and routine maintenance never come at a good time. Let us help take the stress out of your automotive repairs. With 10 mechanics and 32 bays, we can get you back up and running with minimal downtime. Quality parts, experienced mechanics, locally owned and operated since 1977. Located at the southeast corner of Madison and Edgewood, we are pretty darn good at fixing cars. Let's go Royals.
At Peterman Brothers, we know how critical AC can be to your comfort. And we want to make sure you're comfortable in every season. That's why right now when you install a qualifying AC system with Peterman Brothers, we'll include the furnace for free. That's right, Indiana. The furnace is free. And if you schedule today, we'll install your new system tomorrow, guaranteed. Visit PetermanHVAC.com to schedule online in seconds.
Marian University wants to know, what are you made of? At Marian University, our students are made of character and faith. Our students are service-minded and want to make a difference in the world. Our students possess the skills and intellect required of leaders. Come to Marian University, Indy's premier Catholic university, and let us help you find out what you're made of. You can apply for free today at marian.edu. Steve's Flowers and Gifts is your family-owned Indianapolis and Greenwood florist. Our mission is to establish and maintain the highest level of floral value and customer service at comfortable consumer prices. For the best and freshest flowers in Indianapolis and surrounding areas, Steve's Flowers and Gifts has exactly what you're looking for. Check out our wide selection of flower arrangements to make your next occasion memorable. Call 317-787-3431 or visit us at 3150 East Thompson Road.
Welcome back to Bob Tully Field on the campus of Roncalli Stadium. I'm Jimmy Cook, with me, Dan Lauk. Thank you so much for spending part of your Friday night with us, and happy homecoming weekend to you. If you would like to potentially get a shout-out throughout tonight's broadcast, you can give me a mention and a follow while you're there at The J Cook. You can also do the same for Dan at Dan_Lauk. Only one underscore there. It's cleaner. It's simpler. Unlike our at _RHS_principal_. A lot of underscores going on there. Tried to ask Kevin Bonish that last week. I don't know if he had a competition with you and saw you had one, so he needed three, but a lot of underscores going on there.
Well, as the principal, you probably don't want people to find your Twitter account too much, angry parents and whatnot. So rather make it difficult for people to find you, I suppose. But, Kevin did a great job last week. I was lucky to be able to tune in. I appreciate him stepping in for me, and I can probably count on one hand as many people in the world that know football as well as he does. He's a phenomenal football coach and great principal as well. So, well, you said a lot of glowing stuff, so I feel like now I'm the one that has to bring things down a peg. He did fine. Okay, he was good.
He was fine. He did a nice job. All jokes aside, it was great to be able to have. I don't mean to put you in a bad spot here, but he made it seem like the better half of the coaching duo that swept the freshman team by storm many moons ago.
Well, there is truth to that, yes. And listen, Kevin's one of my best friends, and when I left Roncalli for Salesforce and stopped coaching, he would call me every Friday night when he was still coaching after the game, and we'd talk for 2 hours about what he saw. So, smart football coach.
Oh, yeah.
Love talking football with him. As I said, a fantastic principal. Roncalli's in really good hands.
Braves lead it 25-7 at the break, but the Royals will get the ball to start the second half. Morelli back deep to receive, as is Dozier. Warren sends it into the end zone. Nearly got the sideline, but it does reach the end zone first for a touchback. So that's where we'll see the Royals get set to open the opening drive of this second half. Ball on the 20-yard line.
First and 10, Braves.
You can still have a balanced attack. I will agree with you on that, but it's points or bust at this point.
Yeah, well, here's the script, Jimmy. You can still run the ball at this point in the game. So you take what the defense has given you, get all the way down the field, score some points, cut into this lead. And then the thing is, if you can dial up some pressure, play some man defense, and force some incompletions, Brebeuf hasn't shown the ability to run the ball effectively to potentially bleed clock. So you could really extend this game because of that.
Bunch to the left, one to the right. Screen pass, right side with a block will gain 2. Braves had that snuffed out the whole way. It was thrown to Shutley on a wide receiver screen with the trips to the left, and he picked up about 2.
Yeah, and it really just probably coming out to see what Brebeuf's going to show you defensively. The numbers were there to toss it out to Shutley, and a 2-yard gain, so you're not behind the chains here.
2nd and 8 from their own 22. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Ash, handoff. Dozier up the middle, spinning, turning, picks up another 2. Sets up 3rd and 5, maybe 6.
And this is a situation where, if you have the numbers, I would still lean towards running the ball here. Now, if Brebeuf shows an aggressive look, a blitz package or something like that, then obviously you want to pass. But if they're going to lighten their box a little bit here, I'd be more confident picking up this first down with a running play versus a passing play.
3rd and 5 for the Royals from their own 25 on this opening drive of the second half. They trail 25-7. Ash in the gun. Takes the snap. Handoff. Dozier met in the backfield, and he's going to be right near the sticks. Let's see where this mark is. They're going to move the chains. It was Rogan Benich on the carry. I beg your pardon. He's able to keep those legs churning and do exactly as Dan mentioned. Rely on the running game and move the chains.
Yeah, don't give it up yet. Again, you get this ball all the way down there and cut into this lead and make it an 11-point game. That is an easy score to come back from. So just do what you do best here. Run the ball. Try to get some momentum offensively.
2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. 1st and 10 for the Roncalli 30. Ash in the gun, 1 man in the backfield with him. It's Benich. Give us to Benich. Handoff and whistle. False start Royals. For those wondering about the cheers, Anthony Calhoun is in the building. Student section going nuts.
Oh, everybody loves AC.
Who doesn't love AC?
What a job. Just everywhere you go, everybody stands up and cheers for you.
It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, they do a great job, obviously, highlighting all the high school sports around the area. So
Zone 8 work. Everybody getting excited. 1st and 15 for the Royals after the false start. 3 wide receivers to the right, bunch to the right, 1 to the left. It's a blitz. Screen left side. Goes nowhere.
Yeah, just a missed block on the perimeter there. Couldn't tell who it was, but the Braves brought some pressure there, so the ball had to get out quickly. It was another spot route out to that bunch trips to Shutley. But again, that missed block on the perimeter, the Chittard corners are very physical and able to fight off those blocks and are showing that they can make tackles in space.
2 wide receivers to the right side, 1 to the left side for the Royals on this 2nd and 17 from their own 23-yard line. Opening drive, first half, they trail 25-7. 2 wide receivers to the right and 2 to the left for Ash. He's in the gun. Handoff. Benich goes nowhere. Tried to go left to right, and the Braves snuffed it out. He might have gained a yard, maybe 2. Either way, it sets up 3rd and 15.
Yeah, and honestly, Jimmy, I think the Braves were thinking exactly what I was thinking at halftime, that Roncalli was going to come out and try to run the ball down the field. So they're really not backing off defensively as much as I hoped they would. And they're really daring Roncalli to throw the ball right now. It looks like some cover 1 across the formation. So big play here, 3rd and long.
Bunch to the right, shallow, 1 to the left. 3rd and 15 from their own 25 for the Royals. Ash looks to the sideline.
That middle of the field there is open. I don't think Brebeuf's lined up the way they want to be.
Has Dozier to the right side. He's his check down. Throws over the middle. It's caught 5 yards short of the mark by Rudy Shutley. Royals looking for a late hit. They don't get it. Brebeuf says they have the ball. They can hold it all they want. The play was dead about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, Shutley took a pretty big hit there.
Deuce Williams on the hit after the whistle.
Interested to see what the Royals do here in 4th and short. It looks like they're going to go for it.
They'll call it 4th and 3 from their own 37. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Ash tried to hard count him, now gets back up to the line. In the gun, Dozier to his right side. Braves show pressure. 5 on the play clock. He takes it. Handoff. Dozier is tackled in the backfield. Turnover on downs. Massive stop, Braves.
Yeah, I mean, that's we talked about it at halftime, Jimmy. The Royals were really going to need to come out a half strong, and especially if they want to keep their running game alive, get down and score points quick. And unfortunately, the Brebeuf Braves defense really impressed with them there, coming out of half, staying aggressive. And, you know, a lot of people would say play it safe, back off, make Roncalli run the ball for 7 minutes, and if they score, fine. But they stayed aggressive there, and now they've got great field position.
It paid off for them, and now they can effectively try to go for, 6 here would be close to a knockout blow. 1st and 10 for the Roncalli 36. 3 to the left, 1 to the right, and it's a handoff this time that goes nowhere, and you kind of understand why. They give to Brooks. Brooks looked as calm. I mean, even though it went nowhere, I say calm because of the way he was running. Brooks looked as calm as someone walking into a hotel desk to check in. There was no burst.
Yeah.
The line kind of felt the same way. Loss of 1.
I honestly don't know if they practice the run game. I really don't, Jimmy. It's just not part of their game plan.
3 wide receivers to the right and 1 to the left. Geske in the gun. 2nd and 11 from the Roncalli 37. Braves lead at 25-7. Snap. Looks. Throw over the middle. Wide open is his man. It's caught by Morovich.
And we got pressure there on Geske, Jimmy, and he took a big hit. Barely got that ball out, and really it was floating quite a bit. Talked about it first half, though. The Royals are really not doing a good job protecting the middle of the field. And it was when you play with two high safeties, you cannot afford to give up the middle and give up that inside leverage. And right now, the Brebeuf Braves are they're using their athleticism to cut inside to get free on those inside routes, and it's wide open.
1st and 10 from the Roncalli 19-yard line. Braves looking for a knockout. 3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Geske, pitch, right side. Brooks, this time he's going downhill, and he'll pick up 5. Sarcastic claps this way for the Braves, as that's their best run not done by a punter tonight.
You never see this, the dichotomy right now, run versus pass. You hear every coach in the history of football say they want to have a balanced offense. And Coach Geske said, nah, we don't care about the running game. Literally, I think they only hand the ball off just to set up what their next pass play is.
Just to make you think for a second, hey, we might run the ball again.
Yeah.
No, it's going to be a pass. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. 2nd and 7 from the Roncalli 16. Geske looking, go ball, end zone, dropped. That should have been caught. You'll give credit where credit is due. Bryce Heimlich was there in coverage, but we'll take you back to if you ever just playing basketball in the house, but where one of your friends was the hoop, and so you throw it off their chest as a backboard. That's basically what that pass was in the far corner. Fell through incomplete.
Now, what Heimlich did there, which was good, and what we didn't see from the Royals in the first half, he stayed in phase the whole time. He didn't get his head turned too early. He understood it was a go route, so he had some time to stay in phase before he turned and looked. I do think he got his hand in there.
3rd and 7. 2 wide receivers to the right and 1 to the left. Geske in the gun. Has Brooks to his left side. Handoff. Brooks, he's got the edge, has the first down, turns upfield, and is going to be forced out of bounds at the 4. Maybe there is a little bit of a run game by the Braves as they are 1st and goal from the Roncalli 5.
Yeah, and a little outside zone run there, which if you are a team that's listen, I've seen the Brebeuf guards pull a couple times, but that's not what they're built to do. Zone blocking is a little bit more simple when you're an athletic team like that because now you get your athletes out in space. You don't have to rely on the kickouts and the proper technique from your offensive line. Really, it's just get the ball in the hands of an athlete and let him get out in space and see what he can do.
2 wide receivers to the left, 2 to the right. 1st and goal from the 4. Geske in the gun, Brooks to his left side. Takes the snap, 2-step drop, pressure coming, rolls right, cross body, caught, touchdown Braves. He went cross body looking for his intended receiver, Jay Morovich, who caught it as he hit the turf. 31-7 Braves with 5:46 to play in the 3rd.
Royals brought pressure there. It was pretty good pressure. And honestly, I thought when he released the ball that we had a chance at an interception. But listen, Brebeuf just wants it more right now. That receiver flew in there quickly and went straight to the ball, attacked the ball, whereas our defenders were waiting on it. You got to want the ball more than the receiver does.
Warren on for the point after try. Good snap. Good hold. PAT is good. 5:46 to play in this 3rd quarter. The Braves strike again. They lead your Royals 32-7. Roncalli will get the ball when we come back on the Roncalli Media Network.
To deliver. Today's logistics marketplace is an ever-changing landscape where you can make your mark through dedication and passion. At Spot, these characteristics, along with drive and teamwork, form the basis for a rewarding, fast-paced career. Take it from our Roncalli co-founder and our dynamic group of Royals alumni. They've never lost the entrepreneurial spirit that provides the foundation for our continued success. There's never been a time like this, and there has never been a partner like Spot. We're relentless. We are experts. We are accomplished, and like you, we will never lose our drive to deliver. Come find your spot at spotinc.com/careers. Go Royals!
.546 to play, 3rd quarter. 6 plays, 36 yards. Capped off by a 4-yard touchdown connection from Geske to Morovich. Makes it 32-7 Brebeuf.
Not ideal, Jimmy. That's about all I can say.
Insert not great Bob GIF if you're a Mad Men fan. That's basically what we're looking at here.
Hey, looking at scores around the state, there's a good one going up north. Guerin and Chittard tied at 7 in the fourth quarter.
Well, that was going to be, and I say going to be, we'll wait for this kick return. Morelli gets it at the 5, out to the 10, 15, to the 20, about the 19s where it'll officially be marked down. I didn't get a chance to catch the 3A state rankings going into this evening, so I could be well off base on this. But that was setting up to be a 1-versus-2 matchup prior to Roncalli's dominant performance against Guerin Catholic last week.
Yeah, I mean, 2 solid football programs, and good for Guerin to bounce back and from the tough loss at home to Roncalli last week to have a competitive game plan for a good Chittard team.
They fell to 4 after that, so it's a 1-versus-4 matchup. 1st and 10 Royals from their own 19. Quick pass to Morelli, left sideline. He catches it for a gain of 5, second down.
Yeah, and good pitch and catch there to Morelli. It's good to see him get involved. He's a good athlete, can turn on the burners in space, so would like to see him continue to get touches here.
32-7 Braves. Royals with 2nd and 4 from their own 25. 2 wide receivers to the left and 1 to the right. Handoff. Dozier, no, it's a fake and a screen to Morelli. Caught at the 25, contorts his body to the 30. Near the first down marker, he's going to have it. Move those chains.
Yeah, another RPO look there where Colin Ash didn't like the run look. He liked the numbers on the perimeter. The corner's playing off of Morelli, so you figure you can at least pick up 2 or 3 easy there, and they do so and pick up the first down.
2 out wide to the left, 1 to the right on this 1st and 10 from their own 30. 5 minutes to play, third quarter. Ash, handoff. Dozier up the middle to the 35. Dives to the 37. Call it a gain of 7. 2nd and 3.
Yeah, and again, obviously the odds of winning tonight are dwindling, but I still think the Royals should run the ball here and continue with that light box now.
Handoff. Dozier, first down. He'll pick up about 2. Just what he needed. They marked it a gain of 8 the last carry. So 2nd and 2, 2-yard gain, first down Royals.
Yeah, and a little tempo from the Royals here. Obviously being down what they are, they're going to need that, but that tempo allows you to keep running the ball.
2 wide receivers to the left side and 1 to the right. Ash in the gun, fakes a handoff, quick pass Morelli. Defender was there first, and no contact is the official's decision.
Well, obviously, there was quite a bit of contact. I think what the official is thinking there is, the defender has as much right to that ball as Dominic does, and he might have got to the spot quicker. So despite the contact, no flag, I think that's probably the right call.
Why you got to make me disagree with the officials and you? Why have you chosen sides here?
Making things interesting.
2nd and 10, 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Handoff, Dozier goes nowhere. 3rd and 10.
Yeah, and while the Braves are backing off defensively in the defensive backfield, they're still staying extremely aggressive with their linebacker spots, sending at least one of those guys on a blitz almost every time. We talked about it earlier in the game. The stacked defense is tough for the offensive line to decipher because you don't know who's responsible for what gap. Those defensive linemen are head up against your offensive linemen, and the linebackers are stacked right behind. Now they're in an even front.
2 to the left, 1 to the right, 3rd and 10 from their own 41. Ash, 2-step drop, throws over the middle, tipped in the air and incomplete. It was intended for Parker Doherty, but he could not bring it down, and Levi Whistler will see the field once more.
Yeah, danger zone for Roncalli, obviously. You get to the point here where you haven't had an answer for Brebeuf's offense. And I mentioned it pregame, it's going to be a shootout because Brebeuf has such a good offense, but you got to be able to score the ball with them, and we haven't shown the ability to do that so far.
Whistler. Perfect spiral spinning punt that Clark fair catches at the 25. That's where the Braves will set up shop. 3:43 to play in this third quarter. Brebeuf 32, Roncalli 7. And suddenly, we're not there yet, thanks to the Roncalli 7 points they put up in that first half. But we're getting to a territory that I won't say was impossible coming into this season, but it's rare that you get to running clock territory by an opponent in this building.
Oh, yeah. It's only happened a few times, if at all. Yeah, I mean, this is not the situation Roncalli wants to be in. Obviously, the beginning of the game was such a big factor.
Yep. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Geske in the gun on 1st and 10 from his own 25. Handoff up the middle to Brooks. He'll gain about 2. Ball came out late, but the officials had already blown the play dead. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and at this point, hey, listen, it's not going to get easier, Jimmy. If you look at the Royals' schedule, the next 3 weeks are against not only top competition in the state, but some of the best teams in the country. And they're going to be just as athletic, if not more athletic, than this Brebeuf team, talking about Louisville Male, Cathedral, and East Central. So figure out what you got here. You got to find some leadership. Ben Brandenburg, Charlie Elsner are not out there. Who are going to be your leaders that step up?
3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left, 2nd and 10. Geske feels the pressure, rolls out of the pocket, running for his life. Shovel passes to Brooks, who catches it at the 20 to the 25, and he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. So it'll be 3rd and 10 for the Braves upcoming. Royals got home that time. You wish, and I think if you asked the Royals coaching staff, gave them true serum, I think they would wish that pressure got home and there was more pressure designed at the beginning of this game.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. Listen, it was one of my keys to the game. Pressure with 4 if you can, and drop back as many defensive backs as you can to protect your corners. But obviously, Geske showed he can beat that anyways. So, yeah, you got to flip the switch and start to turn on the pressure now. You don't really have any other choice.
Geske in the gun. 3 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. 3rd and 10 from zone 25, 2:15 to play, 3rd quarter. Geske, 3-step drop, pressure coming, throws over the middle, caught by Brooks. He'll go right to left, now trying to cut back upfield with a blocker. He breaks a tackle to the 40. He's going to have the first down and more, 35, 30. And he'll make it out of bounds at the 45-yard line of Roncalli.
And so many explosive plays, Jimmy. You could tell the Roncalli defense is starting to get a little gassed, and not much you can do to stop that. The little crossing route from Brooks there, he catches it in space, and he's a tough one to bring down in the open field.
It's a big gainer. That sets up 1st and 10 from the Roncalli 44-yard line. Make it the 43, rather. 3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left for Geske. Takes the snap. 3-step drop, go ball, left sideline, has his man broken up. It's good defense by Heimlich.
And you can see Roncalli's made the adjustment. Their coaches have definitely talked to the cornerbacks. Hey, listen, these guys are, when they go on those go routes, they are going. Geske can throw the ball 50 yards in the air, easy. So don't get your head around too quick. So, and they've definitely adjusted. That's the 2nd time now that Heimlich has done a nice job staying in phase with the receiver. When I say in phase, keeping your eyes on the receiver, keeping your hand down at the hip, and waiting until the last second to make a play on the ball.
3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left for Geske. 2nd and 10 from the 43. 4-step drop this time. Now he's having to scramble, able to break away from pressure and avoids a snack. Ball came out. That's going to roll out of bounds, though. The Royals diving for it but could not get it. It'll roll all the way back to the Brebeuf 43-yard line. And it'll be 3rd and a country mile.
Yeah, good pressure there, especially by Sam New and Brody Heidelberger to get to Geske there. That was a fumble. Whether his arm was going forward or not, it went backward. That ball took off to the side. That rolled all the way from the hash to the sideline, though. Tough break for the Royals.
1 wide receiver to the right. 3 to the left. 3rd and 23 from the 44. Geske in the gun. 2-step drop. Throws. Quick pass. Caught. Tackle made in space, though. After only a gain of 6, as Morovich able to grab it. It'll be 4th down for the Braves, and one of the rare times tonight, the Braves will be forced to punt. But with 1 minute and 2 left and counting, and a lead of 25.
And Coach talked about it pregame. You got to make something happen on special teams. So expect the Royals to try to go after this. They've been close a few times. Obviously, one of those times the punter tucked it and ran. But you try to go after this again, see if you can make something happen. They've got everybody at the line.
Warren to punt it away. Royals bring pressure, nearly get home. It's a skying punt that's going to be taking a Roncalli bounce the 20, and it'll roll to the 24. 23 seconds to play in this 3rd quarter. All Braves, and a flag flies late. This might be unsportsmanlike conduct once again on Brebeuf. Let's see.
Definitely came after the play.
But now they're starting to point towards Roncalli, so let's see.
Yeah, it looked like there was maybe some chatter and no physical activity, but some talking going on. It's obviously getting a little chippy.
Last chatter went against the Braves. We'll see where this one goes.
I want to know.
This is a different version. I'm not singing. I don't know what it is, but it's not the original.
My wife, Katie, is at home, a Roncalli cheer graduate.
Well, if she still has pull, I'd like to file a complaint.
Well, I bring it up because I know for a fact that she still knows that dance. It's been, 14, 15 years since she's been a high school cheerleader. But
I don't remember Billy Ray Cyrus' rendition, but that's what it sounded like from up here in the booth with a headset. So, still no indication on the penalty, but the officials are walking towards the Brebeuf sideline.
It's taken quite a while. I'm not sure. There's no injury. I'm not sure what the issue is here.
Pointing against Roncalli. Coaching staff beside themselves. Or are they going to say this is a penalty that... Because Geski's out there on the field. Ruff has the football.
That flag certainly came after the play was over. So...
But it couldn't be something that would turn possession over.
At that point, it's Roncalli's football.
The only thing they could be saying right in my mind is that the Royals touched the football. Like, that's the only way, because the penalty, like you mentioned, was in the Roncalli return zone. It was nowhere near the line of scrimmage. The only way that could be Brebeuf ball, unless I'm missing a penalty here, would be the Royals touched it.
Yeah. No, this doesn't make any sense. The Royals certainly weren't even close to the ball. I think they're trying to say that the penalty happened during the play, and by that standard,
that's a very tough call if that's what that is.
This is the incorrect call. I have no potential explanation for this, and nobody on the Roncalli sideline is certainly understanding or comprehending what the ref was explaining to them. We'll try to get some clarity, but...
Well, the officials have made...
15-yard penalty against Roncalli results in a first down.
So, whatever the penalty was, it's a 15-yard penalty on the Royals, and they're going to say it happened during the play. So the Braves are going to get the football back. First and 10 from the 33, and I feel bad for everybody involved here because the Braves aren't going to run a play. They're going to let this go to the end of the quarter, and there's going to be a lot of unhappy Royals faithful in the stands. They're going to have to stew on this for an entire commercial break. We will do the same with us. Again, we don't have anybody down on the field to get clarity, so your guess is as good as mine as to what the actual penalty was. No signal here towards the booth. Pretty good night for this staff from an officiating standpoint prior to that. Fourth quarter up next. Braves 32, Royals 7 on the Roncalli Media Network.
When looking for reliable HVAC professionals, look no further than Ane & Bartram Heating and Cooling. Whether you need a routine maintenance check or an emergency repair on a heating or cooling unit, Ane & Bartram are available to handle all of your heating, cooling, and ventilation needs. Ane & Bartram strive to be the best, so call them today at 317-889-9574. They even have 24/7 emergency service. Call them today, Ane & Bartram, 317-889-9574.
Harding Porman is a full-service printing and brand communications company. From creative services and strategy to print, signage, digital output, warehousing and fulfillment, mailing, e-commerce storefronts, and even mobile solutions. They are dedicating to helping their clients get the most out of their brand communication efforts with the quality they can see and results they can be sure of. Get the most out of your brand communications. Certified to be the best, Harding Porman.
.54 on the clock. While we were away, Braves run a play, so they pick up 3. 2nd and 7 from the Roncalli 30. The explanation we got is an explanation, but I'm still not happy about it.
Yeah, and we can get into it after this play here, but...
2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left for Geski. Low snap, handoff, Brooks. I've never seen that before. All right, so Brooks... He jump cut to the right and then basically trust falled backwards. His body just stopped and he stood still and allowed the tackle to happen.
Yeah, he's
never seen a ball carrier do that before in my life.
Protecting his body there. He actually looks a little shaken up, so maybe he is hurting.
Well, I hope he's all right because it was very strange. He's still out there, though. So.
Yeah. But anyways, for the folks at home, the explanation we got is that Roncalli participated on that punt with 12 players on the field. And because they had 12 players on the field for the entire play, it's a 15-yard penalty. Now, what should have happened is the illegal substitution should have been called prior to the play starting, which would have only been a 5-yard penalty, but that didn't happen.
3rd and 7, 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left from the Roncalli 30. Geske, pressure comes, 2-step drop, over the middle, it's caught. Defender was there to make the tackle. It's A.J. Richardson. That's going to be inside the red zone, just outside the 10. It'll be 1st and 10 from about the 12 for the Braves. By the way, this is I haven't had one of these in a long time. This is my officiating rant, I think, of the year right here. The Royals should not be penalized 15 yards because the officials didn't do their job.
Yeah, that's the problem, is that it should have been a flag at the beginning of the play for participating with too many players on the field, illegal substitution. But because the play went its full course, I've never seen that before. But that's the explanation we're getting.
I have one more thought in a minute. 1st and 10 from the Roncalli 15, 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Pitch, Brooks, 20, 15, and won't get back to the line of scrimmage. He bounced outside and then tried to cut back inside. I guess he did get back to the initial line. So 2nd and 10. That's not my rant because, with all due respect to this officiating staff, Royals are down 25. I got to get my money's worth in a game where that's a call that drastically changes the fortunes of one team or another.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, if this was a tie game, this place would be going ballistic right now.
Yeah.
But with the score being what it is, people are kind of passing over it. But either way, let's see if the Royal defense can gather some momentum here and keep Brebeuf out of the end zone.
3 wide to the right, 1 to the left, 2nd and 10 from the Roncalli 15. Geske in the shotgun. Royals jumped in the neutral zone. 3-5 for the Braves. Geske to this point in the ball game. You went the exact way I didn't want you to go. That's all right. Geske to this point, 29 for 42, 423. 4 touchdowns, no picks, a 55-yard bomb, and situational football, I understand. I'm being slightly tongue-in-cheek here. But that would be an impressive number if not for the fact that he had 343 at the half.
Yeah, we're holding them tight here in the second half.
2 wide receivers to the right, 2 to the left on 2nd and 5 from the Roncalli 10. Geske in the gun. Go ball, right side, has a man caught, touchdown. Braves for 6. Guess who? You're playing along at home. You're right. Taylor Clark, touchdown Brebeuf.
Yeah, I mean that is a high Division I pass right there from Geske. He goes from the left hash, throws the ball all the way to the right corner of the end zone, over multiple Roncalli defenders' heads. As you know, obviously Clark has the ability to create separation, lays it right in the bread basket there. So Brebeuf clicking on all cylinders right now.
And with that 6. For the first time, and this is a young career for me in this chair, but for the first time I've been in this chair, the Royals have been running clocked at home.
Yeah, we're not there yet, right?
35. We're knocking on the door. You're right, 35. I'm sorry. So we're knocking on that door. So I jumped the gun there. I apologize.
Yeah.
But it's still a 32-point deficit that the Royals have to climb out of. So we'll keep it right here. I'm gonna say this for our crew back in the booth, because I want to elaborate on this. So we'll keep it right here. We will not take a 30-second break here. We will keep it right here and stay with the flow. That's a pride thing for me if I'm coaching staff or I'm a player.
Yeah.
I get it. Like, you're playing to win. That's what you want week in and week out. But under no circumstances, do I want to give the satisfaction of a running clock for Brebeuf at any point in time. And maybe that's me thinking just in the margins of where this game is at right now, but
sure,
you need to be playing for something right now. If nothing else, it's pride.
Well, you got to be playing to get better, because like I mentioned, the next 3 weeks are not going to get any easier.
It's a Lions, Tigers, Bears, oh my type of look for Roncalli upcoming.
Yeah, and listen, this is a team you're going to see in the sectional too. So you talk about seeing Brebeuf again, it's likely that that's going to happen. Now, here's the good news. I think back to the year 2015, I was on the defensive coaching staff at that time. We played East Central, a good East Central team, at home the last game of the season. We beat them, I think it was 31-7. Just rolled them from the beginning, got up early. We come back and play them in the semi-state, completely different game. We weren't able to get out to that quick lead. So the fact that Brebeuf was able to jump out so early on Roncalli tonight completely changes how this game goes. So
yes.
It's not like going into the sectional, you're like, oh, we're way overmatched. It could have been a completely different game than what we're seeing right now.
Warren's kick is into the end zone for a touchback. 9:20 to play in this ball game. Braves 39, Royals 7. As Dan mentioned, it's not just pride you're playing for. You're also trying to play for growth, for more to put on film. This is still a young team that even though they strung together 2 consecutive victories for the first time this year, you still need to be able to utilize these reps for growth.
Yeah, no doubt. Ben Brandenburg being out and Charlie Elsner being out, that's probably not making a difference in this game. Brebeuf's just executed so well, but the young guy's got to step up here.
Trips to the left, one to the right. Ash fakes a screen, looking for Pendergast, has him downfield, nearly intercepted. The safety was baiting Ash to make that throw. It was Dylan Wells, and he nearly came up with the interception. It falls incomplete, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, that's essentially a one-man route. It's a spot and go. So Rudy Shutley, who we've seen him throw it out on the spot route a couple times too now, shows his hands. Pendergast sets up like he's blocking and then releases vertical. That ball has got to come out a little bit sooner.
2nd and 10. Ash, 3-step drop all day. Pass deflected and nearly intercepted. 3rd down.
Pass attempt number 8, Parker Doherty is incomplete.
Yeah, and at this point, Brebeuf's just dropping back in zone coverage. On that previous play, the safety wasn't fooled at all by the fake on the spot route, and he was able to get across the field and get to Pendergast. But let's see. Give all Colin Ash. We talk about growth. Here's your opportunity to throw into a zone and be sitting in the pocket and see if you can pick apart this defense.
Ash, handoff, Dozier cuts upfield to the 25, to the 30, spinning, turning, has the first down to the 35-yard line. A 15-yard run by Zach Dozier will move the chains for the Royals with 9:03 to play.
And that's Zach's bread and butter. So you think about Ben Brandenburg, Henry Adams, they like to run the power game. Zach Dozier is very effective running that outside zone where he can get to the perimeter and stick his foot in the ground and get vertical.
2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Handoff, Dozier stumbles forward for 3.
It's the same play there, but Brebeuf does a better job locking down that edge and forcing Zach to cut up quicker than he would have liked to.
2 wide receivers to the left side, 1 to the right side. Ash in the shotgun on 2nd and 8 from his own 38. Snap, quick pass, caught, short of the first down, but a gain of about 6 all the same. Sets up 3rd and 2.
Nice little pitch and catch there to Dominic Morelli and sets you up in a position where you could, you got a lot more at your disposal now. Obviously, it's 4-down territory for the Royals, so you got 2 plays here to pick up 2 yards.
Ash in the gun. 1 wide receiver to his right, 2 to his left. Handoff. Dozier is met at the middle of the trenches, and he dove forward, they'll say. See if they give this to him or not. The mark is going to be close. They'll give him the first down. Inside of 8 minutes to play. Braves 39, Royals 7. 1st and 10 for the Roncalli 46. 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Ash, handoff. Dozier cuts upfield to midfield. He'll pick up 4. 2nd and 6 upcoming.
Nice cut there from Dozier. There wasn't anything strong, and when you get in that zone blocking scheme, that doesn't mean that the blocking scheme is not working if he cuts back weak. That actually means it is working, and that Brebeuf has over-pursued to the strong side, opening up that vertical seam weak. Good job by Zach to see that, not just stick his nose into traffic.
2 wide receivers left, 1 wide receiver right. 2nd and 6 from midfield. Ash, 2-step drop, hangs in the pocket. A missile over the middle. Over the head of his intended receiver, Parker Doherty. 3rd down.
Yeah, throws a dart, and he needed to because the corner from the other side of the field was coming over and ready to lay a hit as well. So, unfortunately, that pass sailed just a little bit, but he put the right amount of spice on it.
3rd and 6 from the 50. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 out to the right for Colin Ash. Snap. It was wide. He's able to scoop it up, though. Off-platform throw, incomplete. A lot of activity after the play as well between defender and Royal wide receiver. That looked like it was Doherty tied up there on the play with Bowling.
And again, getting back to it, Jimmy, how important when you play a team like this, where all they want to do is throw the ball, and really Roncalli just wants to run the ball, you've got to establish yourself early to really control the game. And this ball game could be flipped completely if the Royals were able to do that.
Whistler, great punt. Takes a Royal bounce to the 10, to the 5, and it'll roll at about the 6 on a weird curve at the end there. Like trying to map out a cone of a hurricane nearly with how much difference in trajectory that punt had from Whistler, but it worked out either way.
Well, and just to expound on what I was saying, Jimmy, you look at this Brebeuf roster, too. I've been really impressed with their free safety, Dylan Wells. He also has 7 catches on the offensive side of the ball. They've got a lot of players going both ways. So if you're able to turn this game into a slugfest in the sectional, you can really wear this team down. You can't get behind a team like Brebeuf that wants to be so explosive offensively, and unfortunately that's what's happened tonight. 1
wide receiver to the left, 3 to the right, 1st and 10 from Brebeuf's own 7. They lead at 39-7, 6:47 to play in this ball game.
New quarterback.
And a change at quarterback there as well. It's a handoff that goes nowhere. Quarterback in there was Chase Johnson.
Interesting. We saw him in there at running back early in the game as well. He's a big kid.
You know what the Braves have done, and I don't blame them because Geske is the truth. We've seen that tonight. But they've had last 2 years just feels like a senior that, hey, could you possibly throw the ball if we needed you if Geske gets hurt? Okay, you're our backup quarterback. Yeah. And that's what's happened with Chase Johnson, another senior there.
I'll tell you what, I haven't coached for 3 or 4 years, but Brebeuf always has a quarterback.
Yep.
And they always know how to throw the ball. They aren't always great at running it, but they can pass the ball for sure.
3 to the right, 1 to the left on 2nd and 12. Another handoff that'll go nowhere.
And that's the thing. I got caught up in this as a defensive coordinator. You watch Brebeuf on film, and you really as a defensive coordinator, you start scheming out the run game first, and how are you going to stop the run game? So when the first thing you watch is Brebeuf's run game, over and over, you're like, man, we're gonna crush these guys. They don't know how to run the football. Then you turn on the second half of the film and watch their pass game, and you're like, what are we gonna do? So it's really unique. You don't see a lot of teams like this that really will just give up on the run and just be willing to throw the ball 60 times a game, especially at the high school level.
You don't know a secret? Yeah. It's my dream Madden team. I don't want to run the ball. I just want to pass it. That's it. Yeah. Just pass. Handoff. Gets stuffed at the line. Forward progress is going to put that at about the 1. So it'll be a tough punt for the Braves upcoming.
Yeah, good series there. Obviously, Brebeuf's got some backups in there now, but the Roncalli defensive line, great job getting penetration on all 3 plays there.
Babcock with a nice tackle there.
Makes it 4th down.
Shutley back to receive the punt. He stands at the 40 of Roncalli.
And they haven't sent the punt unit out yet, but surely they're just going to wind this down and call a timeout.
We might as well. Got another 8 seconds you can tick off. That'll put it at about 4:32 left to go in this game. And now Shutley will run up as a safety. But like you mentioned, it's a timeout. We'll take it with him.
The hard count was not believable there.
No, it was not. 4:33 to play. We'll take a 30-second break. Royals will receive the punt when we come back. Braves 39, Roncalli 7 on the Roncalli Media Network.
A proud supporter of Roncalli High School, Indy Teledata provides IT solutions for businesses and organizations in central Indiana. For over 10 years, Steve Battiato and his team of professionals have provided comprehensive computing support, business telephone solutions, network infrastructure, and productivity suite integration. For a free evaluation of your technology needs, give Steve and his team a call at 317-231-5547 or visit us at indyteledata.com.
Left to play in this ball game. With Dan Lauk, I'm Jimmy Cook. Brebeuf on top of your Royals, 39-7, playing the role of spoiler here on homecoming night. Roncalli be back to receive this punt on 4th and 15 from the Braves' own 2.
really the first time, Jimmy, in this coaching tenure under Coach Quintana where the Royals have, really been outmatched all night, and the deficit has been this large. You think back last year, every game they were in, only 2 losses, and they were just really close games to Elder and East Central. So curious to see how this coaching staff responds as well.
Royals bring the pressure. That's a beautiful punt that's going to be taken by Shutley. Fair caught at the Roncalli 36-yard line.
Really a foreign position for Roncalli in quite some time. I mean, you think back to, I would say probably the 2020 year, the COVID season where, we won a state championship that year, but week 3 against Chittard got beat pretty badly, 28-7 here on the home field. Really, since then, it's been all Roncalli wins or very close losses. So unusual territory for these players and this coaching staff alike.
Ash is out there. Royals still with their starters. 1st and 10 from the Roncalli 36. 3 out to the left, 1 to the right. Ash, 2-step drop. Pressure starts to come. He rolls left, dumps off to Dozier. Caught the 40 to the 35. Initial line was the 36. That's a gain of a yard.
Yeah, Brebeuf not willing to give up anything down the field right now, so forcing Colin Ash to check down to Dozier there. No gain on the play, and it's going to be tough to pick much up here with the athletes Brebeuf has.
2nd and 9. Ash, 2-step drop. Pressure there. Thrown to Brendergast. He catches it at the 30, spinning to the 27. Close to the first down. Call it a gain of 8 and make it 3rd and 1.
Good route there by Prendergast coming across the middle, and good job by Ash finding him to set up this favorable 3rd and 1 for Roncalli.
2 to the left, 1 to the right, 3rd and 1. Benich, the tailback. Ash looks to the sideline. Still looking. 13 on the play clock. 2 to the left, 1 to the right. On 3rd and 1. Handoff. Benich has the first down and more to the 20, out to the 17. Gain of 10.
Nice hard run there by Rogan Benich. Good job by the right side of the offensive line to open that one up. Royals are going to go with some tempo here.
2 to the left, 1 to the right. On 1st and 10 from the 15. Handoff. Benich keeps the legs churning, out to the 10. And a whistle. No timeout, though, and the clock will run once again. 2nd and 3 from the Roncalli. Make that the Brebeuf 9, I beg your pardon. Handoff. Benich, no, it's a fake. It's a throw to the end zone. Morelli's there. Is the catch made? It is. Touchdown, Royals. Colin Ash, a nice strike to Dominic Morelli. And we mentioned it. We know it's too little too late for this specific game, but a good boost of confidence for the Royals. That is the important mentality of still being willing to learn and grow when you know what the schedule holds the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean, you just keep playing and keep executing. That was a really nice job by Dominic Morelli. Good release off the line on that slant route. He's done that a couple times tonight, getting in good position on his corner to where he can really use his body to fend him off and make a nice hands catch, and he did so there.
Timeout. Taken by the Royals. We'll take it with them. 30-second timeout. 2:41 to play. Brebeuf 39, Roncalli 13. Back in a moment.
Marian University wants to know, what are you made of? At Marian University, our students are made of character and faith. Our students are service-minded and want to make a difference in the world. Our students possess the skills and intellect required of leaders. Come to Marian University, Indy's premier Catholic university, and let us help you find out what you're made of. You can apply for free today at marian.edu.
.241 to play in this ball game. Roncalli fresh off a touchdown. Now going to go for 2. To make it a 2-touchdown game, should they get it. Wide receivers bunch, 2 on either side of this line of scrimmage. Ash looks, quick throw. Dozier caught, touchdown. He was the tailback. He went on a route to the left side out in the flat. Quick hitter, and the 2-point try is good.
Yeah, it's a common 2-point conversion play that you'll see at all levels of football where you run double slants on the outside, knowing that the defense is likely going to be in man coverage. The defenders follow those receivers. Nobody picks up the running back. You hopefully pick off the linebacker that's going to hold it there. He's wide open for the 2-point conversion.
It's uncoverable in Madden, by the way. 2:41 to play in this ball game. 30-second timeout. We will take it here. Brebeuf leads 39-15.
Summer blew by and your child hasn't been to his or her back-to-school eye exam. Let the experts take a look and schedule an appointment today with Vision Quest Eye Care. Vision Quest has 2 locations to serve you and your family in Greenwood and Geist. Visit VisionQuestEyeCare.com and schedule today. That's VisionQuestEyeCare.com.
.241 to play in this ball game. Royals have made it just a 2-touchdown contest. Brebeuf still leads, though, 39-15. Levi Whistler on to, situationally, Dan, you'd assume an onside kick here, right?
Yeah, at this point of the game, being down, what are you down now, 24 points, so I would doubt it. I think they're just going to kick it away here, but nope, there it is.
Onside kick, bumps once, bumps twice. Royals got some separation. Do they have the recovery? Let's see.
They do.
The Royals have the football. Did it go 10? They're going to have a discussion. Did this ball go 10 yards? If it went 10, there's a little bit of life for the Royals here all of a sudden.
They're on the right side of the 50, so where they're spotting it is 11 yards from where the ball was kicked, so it should be Royals football.
I'm going to assume it did. I've seen, there it go. Can we get a little bit of emotion? There we are.
There we go.
Way to go, White Hat. We got a secondary official with just like a little, just tiny first down move. And then the White Hat with a half-hearted Matt Geske wants some explanation.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you're down 24 still, so there's not much happening here. But but you execute the onside kick, you give the ball back to your offense, and, you never stop fighting.
Yep.
So.
39-15. Royals still trying to muster something. There's a throw to the sideline. It's going to be caught. Reception is made on that far sideline by Nick Arman, the junior.
Yeah, Arman getting in there for the first time. He was in the last series as well, so starting to see a few new faces in there. 2
wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Ash, 2-step drop. He'll set up for a screen for Dozier. It's incomplete. Yeah, Great hit by the Braves in space. He caught it initially, but the defender was right there to lay the boomstick, and it's incomplete, 3rd and 7.
Yeah, and there's been a few of those tonight. The Braves are playing off. They're not, and listen, that's perfect technique. One of the reasons offenses will run that swing route is in hopes that a linebacker will suck up to it quickly, and then that opens up space behind. But Brebeuf does a good job staying off and then attacking the ball when it's in the air.
Rolling right is Ash on the snap. Pressure coming, and he's going to be brought down for a loss. I tell you one thing. Look, I don't know if you could hear that audibly on the broadcast because they're on the opposite side of the field, but I get it, you have youngsters playing now, but that was loud, boisterous, rallying cries from the Braves sideline. If you're the Royals here on homecoming, remember this.
Yeah.
Could you mention a potential sectional rematch?
Right.
Do not let the memory of the Braves not only pouring it on you, but kind of adding insult to injury here. Let that linger and that be a motivational tool. Ash, screen, Dozier, caught at the 50 to the 45-40, has a block to the 35, to the 30, 25-20, 15-10, stays on his feet, 5, touchdown, Royals! Colin Ash on a screen, takes it to the house.
Fantastic job there by Zach Dozier to keep that alive. Colin Ash didn't want to throw the screen route initially, but it's all he had. And then good blocking downfield by the Roncalli receivers. An excellent effort by Zach Dozier to tiptoe along that sideline. It looked like the Brebeuf players just didn't want to get physical with him, and he stayed in bounds the entire time and took it to the house. Great play.
Royals once again going to go for 2 here. That would, this time now, effectively make it a 2-score game,
Yes.
but you'd have to be, I mean, we understand what, there's 90 seconds left.
Yeah.
3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Ash in the gun. Takes the snap. Rolls left. He's going to take it himself. Has a blocker in front of him. Ash is going to dive for the pylon and have the 2-point try. Well, at the very least, the Royals get to use some of those pyrotechnics they had stored up for homecoming.
Yeah, and again, you play to the end of the game, even though the score is, you never know. It's a 2-possession game, but at this point, you're really playing to continue to get better and to put some tape out there that you can learn from. And, you've kept the starters out there on offense, and that's the right call because you want to, again, these starters are inexperienced in their own right. So continuing to get some good film out there to learn from, but also a little bit of confidence here at the end of the game is good for the Royals.
I tell you what, though, it makes you, and I as a coach, you can speak to this, it makes you second guess so much of this game because, I mean, who knows? Second unit's out there for the Braves right now. I know that it has to be said, but this could be a rally that has a little bit more on it if the lead wasn't as insurmountable as the Braves built.
Yeah.
Because maybe the Braves are up 3 scores with this much time left, and it's a 1-score game right now because they still pulled their starters. Who knows? But the mountain you let them ascend, basically too much to overcome.
Yeah, that's the story of the game. I mean, you're either going to lose big time to Brebeuf or you're going to beat them big time. I mean, it's just like their pass versus run. There's no balance. They're either going to go all out and you're going to crush them or they're going to crush you. Either way.
Whistler, another onside. He laid down the boomstick, and he's going to be flagged for this. The Royals are going to get the recovery from the onside kick, but as the call was it was a defenseless. I don't know. Levi Whistler lowered the shoulder. Is that all it is? A defenseless returner?
This is a fairly new rule that I think they're going to enact here, but you have to be able to protect the front line of that return team. So you can't. We used to have the play. It was called Paul Revere, is what we called it. Where it's the same thing. You just, and when I was playing, this was legal, and we had a guy named John Keevers who was a really good safety here, and he would be the guy on the inside, and his whole goal, you'd kick it right at the front line, and his whole goal was to get there before the ball did and just blow up that front line. But it's obviously a very dangerous play. So,
well, the Royals coaching staff is beside themselves for the call itself. But the penalty is going to effectively end the game.
Yeah.
Which, again, Royals are down 16 inside 90 seconds.
Well, and essentially the rule there is it's just like a punt. You have to give the return team the ability to catch the ball.
I'm not mad about this, to be clear, because I'm all about player safety.
Yeah.
But this is going to sound very old man of me, and it's not meant to be. This is another one of those calls that will eventually make returns not part of football anymore. And it's fine. Like, player safety is more important.
Sure.
This is not me saying, oh, this is a bad rule they have. It's not a bad rule. It's a good rule for safety, but it's one of those that is eventually going to eliminate special teams as we know it.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but we've seen it every 5 years or so.
Yep.
Something else is done that takes special teams out of the equation.
Sure.
Johnson's still the quarterback now for the Braves. Handoff left side. Blockers in front to the 40, getting the corner to the 35, and that could have been a house call. But it will be short of the first down marker, so the clock will continue to run. And, again, this is me as the coach. You can tell me if I'm crazy here or not. This would be victory formation for me. If I'm Brebeuf, I get it. You have young guys out there. You're trying to let them play.
Yeah.
But, if the Braves score on this drive, and they're not in a hurry up right now. They're looking at the sideline. They're letting the play come in. Maybe this is their version of victory formation, just a handoff and call it a day. But if you were going to play with that tempo, again, make it matter. Use this as motivation if you're a member of the Royals.
Yeah, I'm sure they're thinking, Roncalli still has 2 timeouts, so they could stop the clock, but I'm with you.
Handoff once again up the middle, and that's a little bit more like it.
Yeah, at this point, Coach Quintana is not going to call those timeouts, so there won't be any more plays in this game.
Man, I tell you what, you were going to see right there how strong the Petty was, perhaps, and it was not. The Petty was not strong. in the Roncalli coaching staff there. They won't use the timeout. That handoff will be the final play of the game. And the Brebeuf Jesuit Braves have come into Roncalli Stadium, and no other way to point it but a trouncing, an absolute trouncing of the Royals here on homecoming night. The score is going to be a little closer than this game was, but as Dan mentioned, this could have been a different game if the first quarter goes differently.
Yeah,
I'm with you on that as your finals 39-23.
Absolutely. You gotta establish yourself against this Brebeuf team, and really the key to the game was the 2 times early that Roncalli got down to the red zone. They got no points out of it. The only score they get is on an 80-yard touchdown in the first half to J.J. Prendergast. So when you make those mistakes against an explosive team like Brebeuf, you really put yourself behind the 8 ball.
We're going to step aside for 4 minutes. When we come back, we will have the Indy Teledata postgame show. And in that postgame show, of course, and this is on you to decide, Dan, the Indianapolis Fruit player of the game. Our final tonight, the Braves spoil homecoming. They win it 39-23. Indy Teledata postgame show around the corner on the Roncalli Media Network.
Providing comfort for families in their time of need is the main concern of the staff at Lauk-Veldoff Funeral Home. We are a small family-owned firm and take great pride in the personal service we offer and the family-like atmosphere at our facility. At Lauk-Veldoff, we only serve one family at a time, providing compassionate care and affordable options, truly part of your community. Lauk-Veldoff Funeral and Cremation Services. Call 317-636-6655.
Steve's Flowers and Gifts is your family-owned Indianapolis and Greenwood florist. Our mission is to establish and maintain the highest level of floral value and customer service at comfortable consumer prices. For the best and freshest flowers in Indianapolis and surrounding areas, Steve's Flowers and Gifts has exactly what you're looking for. Check out our wide selection of flower arrangements to make your next occasion memorable. Call 317-787-3431 or visit us at 3150 East Thompson Road.
Never lose your drive to deliver. Today's logistics marketplace is an ever-changing landscape where you can make your mark through dedication and passion. At Spot, these characteristics, along with drive and teamwork, form the basis for a rewarding, fast-paced career. Take it from our Roncalli co-founder and our dynamic group of Royals alumni. They've never lost the entrepreneurial spirit that provides the foundation for our continued success. There's never been a time like this, and there has never been a partner like Spot. We're relentless, we are experts, we are accomplished, and like you, we will never lose our drive to deliver. Come find your Spot at spotinc.com/careers. Go Royals! When looking for reliable HVAC professionals, look no further than Anne & Bartram Heating and Cooling. Whether you need a routine maintenance check or an emergency repair on a heating or cooling unit, Anne & Bartram are available to handle all of your heating, cooling, and ventilation needs. Anne & Bartram strive to be the best, so call them today at 317-889-9574. They even have 24/7 emergency service. Call them today, Anne & Bartram, 317-889-9574. Hey, maybe the summer blew by and your child hasn't been to his or her back-to-school eye exam. Let the experts take a look and schedule an appointment today with Vision Quest Eye Care. Vision Quest has 2 locations to serve you and your family in Greenwood and Geist. Visit VisionQuestEyeCare.com and schedule today. That's VisionQuestEyeCare.com.
A proud supporter of Roncalli High School, Indy Teledata provides IT solutions for businesses and organizations in central Indiana. For over 10 years, Steve Battiato and his team of professionals have provided comprehensive computing support, business telephone solutions, network infrastructure, and productivity suite integration. For a free evaluation of your technology needs, give Steve and his team a call at 317-231-5547 or visit us at indyteledata.com.
Harding Porman is a full-service printing and brand communications company. From creative services and strategy to print, signage, digital output, warehousing and fulfillment, mailing, e-commerce storefronts, and even mobile solutions. They are dedicating to helping their clients get the most out of their brand communication efforts with the quality they can see and results they can be sure of. Get the most out of your brand communications. Certified to be the best, Harding Porman.
Hi folks, it's Ben Stallings with Beck Service Center. Automotive breakdowns and routine maintenance never come at a good time. Let us help take the stress out of your automotive repairs. With 10 mechanics and 32 bays, we can get you back up and running with minimal downtime. Quality parts, experienced mechanics, locally owned and operated since 1977. Located at the southeast corner of Madison and Edgewood, we are pretty darn good at fixing cars. Let's go Royals.
Welcome back to Bob Tully Field on the campus of Roncalli High School. Royals fall 39-23. Homecoming is spoiled by the Brebeuf Braves. The Indy Teledata postgame show is on. Let's take a look at the first half stats, or full game stats, I beg your pardon. More of the same.
Yep.
Pretty much all Brebeuf, though you give credit to the Royals, even though it was, again, second unit players for the Braves. They didn't quit. They fought hard in that fourth quarter, but at that point it was moral victories, it was film victories, it was areas to build off of versus changing tonight's result.
Yeah, and really, you mentioned second unit of Brebeuf. I mean, with Ben Brandenburg out, with Charlie Elsner out, with Jaden Buchanan, the quarterback, not playing the whole year. I mean, you've got young guys out there for Roncalli too, so you take whatever wins you can get towards the end of that game. It looks really ugly there, approaching a running clock. So to be able to get those 14 points, 16 points, there at the end with the 2-point conversions is good momentum for Roncalli. Now, it doesn't get easy. The next 3 weeks are going to be against top competition. So you need to hope that you get healthy and learn from tonight and see what you can do next week against a really athletic Louisville male team.
Got a text unrelated to the Royals. I apologize. But you're right. I mean, it is going to be, I mentioned it during the broadcast, I'll use it now, Lions, Tigers, Bears, oh my, the next 3 weeks for the Royals. And it is a gauntlet that you can't necessarily look at as a player as if we go, let's just say for the sake of argument, if they go 0-3, you can't look at it as doomsday.
No, it's, yeah.
But you need to have become a better football team
100%
over those 3 games, regardless of what the result is.
100%. Yeah, listen, it's going to be tough to rack up 3 wins over the next 3 weeks against some of the best teams in the Midwest, but you can get better. So that's got to be the goal. It's not we need to go 3-0 the next 3 weeks, because really these next 3 weeks don't matter for playoffs. So everybody in the state of Indiana makes the playoffs. So your goal is really to just continue to get better, try to get healthy, and get yourself ready for the sectionals, where hopefully we'll see this Brebeuf team again.
We'll step aside for the final time. When we return, we'll have the Indianapolis Fruit Player of the Game and look ahead to a trip out of state next week when the Royals take on Louisville Male. Again, your final in this one, the Braves spoil homecoming. They defeat the Royals 39-23. Back to wrap things up after this on the Roncalli Media Network.
Marian University wants to know, what are you made of? At Marian University, our students are made of character and faith. Our students are service-minded and want to make a difference in the world. Our students possess the skills and intellect required of leaders. Come to Marian University, Indy's premier Catholic university, and let us help you find out what you're made of. You can apply for free today at marian.edu. Steve's Flowers and Gifts is your family-owned Indianapolis and Greenwood florist. Our mission is to establish and maintain the highest level of floral value and customer service at comfortable consumer prices. For the best and freshest flowers in Indianapolis and surrounding areas, Steve's Flowers and Gifts has exactly what you're looking for. Check out our wide selection of flower arrangements to make your next occasion memorable. Call 317-787-3431 or visit us at 3150 East Thompson Road.
A proud supporter of Roncalli High School, Indy Teledata provides IT solutions for businesses and organizations in central Indiana. For over 10 years, Steve Battiato and his team of professionals have provided comprehensive computing support, business telephone solutions, network infrastructure, and productivity suite integration. For a free evaluation of your technology needs, give Steve and his team a call at 317-231-5547 or visit us at indyteledata.com.
Harding Porman is a full-service printing and brand communications company. From creative services and strategy to print, signage, digital output, warehousing and fulfillment, mailing, e-commerce storefronts, and even mobile solutions. They are dedicating to helping their clients get the most out of their brand communication efforts with the quality they can see and results they can be sure of. Get the most out of your brand communications. Certified to be the best, Harding-Foreman.
Welcome back for the final time at Bob Tully Field. The Braves play the role of spoiler on homecoming night. Take care of business over your Royals, 39-23. Here on the Indy Teledata postgame show with Dan Lauk, I'm Jimmy Cook. Now time to hand out our postgame award. It is the Indianapolis Fruit Player of the Game. Dan, any particular area you want to go with the honors tonight?
Yeah, I think, I got to shout out Colin Ash. He's not winning the award tonight, not getting the fruit basket or the fictional fruit basket. But
needs to be a real fruit basket, but yes, it is fictional at this point.
But he played a nice game, 19 of 33, 247 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So heck of a game from the sophomore. And then I want to go tonight, Jimmy. I think there's 2 players that really stand out. First one is the sophomore running back, Zach Dozier, to be able to step in there for the injured Ben Brandenburg. He had 22 rushes, 103 yards. Also had 4 catches for 43 yards and a touchdown, especially that one at the end there was really nice. So great game from Zach stepping up in there when really the running back room is decimated right now. And then the other one, my other player of the game is J.J. Prendergast, and he obviously had the long touchdown, the 80-yard touchdown, so 5 catches, 95 yards, and the touchdown. But he also had 7 tackles, including 1 for loss on the defensive side of the ball. So if the injuries continue, you're going to need players like J.J. to step up and play both sides of the ball, and he did a really good job of that tonight.
That is the Indianapolis Fruit Player of the Game. Well, coming up next for the Royals, it's a trip down 65 to take on Louisville Male, one of the top teams on a regular basis in the Midwest and all of the country, and it doesn't get any easier. A lot of athleticism, a lot of speed. This will be a tough one for the Royals, but again, closing the season, Louisville Male, Cathedral, East Central. Yes, you would love to end the season at 6-3. Yes, you'd love to end the season at above 500. The goal, though, is to be a better team and be clicking on all cylinders by the time the sectional arrives on October 20th.
Yeah, and you look at this Louisville Male squad. Obviously, they came up here last year, and we got the better of them. I think they had a couple players out that game, but either way, Roncalli played really well and turned that game into a phone booth atmosphere, which is what Coach Quintana wants, where it's going to be pound and ground. But, you look at this team's schedule. They've got 2 losses on the season right now, but those losses are to powerhouses, St. Xavier out of Louisville, and then it looks like they lost as well tonight to Pleasure Ridge Park. But they're going to have athletes all over the field, similar to what we saw tonight. They're a perennial powerhouse down in Kentucky. So, like I mentioned, it doesn't get any easier. You're going to go up against really, really, really high-level competition these next 3 weeks in Male, Cathedral, and East Central. So you want to get through that stretch, like you mentioned, getting better. Don't worry about the record. Obviously, I hope we come out 3-0 out of that stretch, but that's not what you're worried about. You're worried about building on this season so that when you get to sectional play and hopefully see this Brebeuf squad again, you're firing on all cylinders.
Well, we'll have that one for you next week. It'll be a 7 o'clock kick, 6:45 pregame show. Dan Lauk will be in pocket for us, and it'll be a fun broadcast all the same. The executive director of the Roncalli Media Network, Therese Carson and Aaron Hummel. Video operations director, AJ Ablong, and a round of applause all the way across the board to him and his student crew. Behind the scenes, plenty of moving bodies left and right trying to make this an excellent production, and they did it once again. There's so many moving parts that go into this, and it's constantly an evolving product that they have to stay on their toes for. So tip of the cap to everybody involved on the production side tonight, as this was a video-only broadcast this evening. Aces for them. Great job all the way around. And my broadcast partner tonight, of course, is Dan Lauk. I am Jimmy Cook. Again, our final in this one, the Braves play the role of spoiler for your Royals at homecoming. They take out Roncalli 39-23. And until we talk to you next week on the road in Louisville, so long, everybody.